Same look for the ES, trading marginally lower, below 69.50 at 69.28. The Dow, kind of the same look as well, 0.06 in negative territory, with the Russell 2000 down 0.1%. Oil continues to trade below $60, and nat gas getting a bump here to start the morning, up 5%. And yes, gold, more all-time highs overnight as we continue to watch the metals trade go up, and Bitcoin down aggressively again, below 90,000, trading at about 87,728. Good morning, Adara. What are some of the morning headlines?
There's quite a few. I'll start here with Novo Nordisk. NVO getting some FDA approval here. This is the first of its kind for the oral GLP-1 weight loss drug. Eli Lilly actually moving a little bit lower, at least it was earlier today as a result, obviously less volume, but NVO certainly going to be on watch today. ZIM is another one that gapped up that I think is certainly worth talking about. Strategic review happening. Apparently they're getting some buy offers, so keep an eye here on ZIM. I also want to talk about RKLB and some of these quantum plays. Both of those groups were very strong yesterday, now pulling back. So maybe some day two plays, but not quite continuation.
All right, guys, some more developments in the Warner Brothers Discovery Paramount saga happening overnight, with a major shareholder of Warner Brothers coming out and saying, look, the Paramount Skydance deal was better, still not perfect. We'll have to wait and see how that saga turns out. But yeah, not a whole lot to speak about on this holiday shortened week, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. We do get some data at 8:30, so there will be some to look at there. There's going to be movers, right? Like yesterday, you think, well, just because it's lower volumes, light week, right, it's going to be crazy. It's not going to be much, but with Novo moving around, Bitcoin weak, metals making fresh highs and pressing. Yesterday, you had that random IPO, FJet, which, by the way, is moving to the downside. And remember Sidhu? SIDU.
Has that gone down?
Shocking. They dropped an offering. I, for one, am shocked when these things happen.
Yeah.
But I am pleasantly surprised. Most people aren't going to be pleasantly surprised, but I am happy that we got some snow, because I know my daughter, the second she sees it when she wakes up, she is loving the fact that we got a bunch of snow that's all going to melt today in the GTA.
Yeah, Neil is public enemy #1 around here, so that's good, as you can see by the rubbing of the hands there. So the public enemy #1, but it's good to see. Yeah, so snow abound here. Tesla up 0.25. I don't know, the market's not really doing a whole bunch today, so we'll see. Tesla's at 490. We did have our charts are trying to pick up some data here from 7 to 8 or so right now, but Tesla down to 489, 490 actually right now, so that should be okay. Yeah, nothing much. Gold going higher. I mean, that would be something, a story that's been really taken over in 2025. I mean, just how much gold has ripped up this whole year and continues, and just now takes out all-time highs today. So yesterday we make that candle, and then we just keep bumping. So I guess yesterday was all-time highs, and then today we keep on going even higher than that right now. So February, January. So we got, you're up like, this was $250 or so, now to 412. So nice little epic move there. Silver's still going as well. We can check out what Palantir's doing. There's not really any individual stories. I mean, Adara nailed it with Novo Nordisk here, but our watch list, although many names on it, it's Tesla with a small little upgrade there, price target, Nvidia and AMD with some news, Alphabet, and then ZIM. Like, there's really not a whole bunch more offering too much to trade here today. So we'll be watching the futures. We'll be watching a few different things here. And then you never know what's going to move around. I mean, Netflix is still hovering around that $93 mark right now. Maybe SIDU, things like that.
Quantum moved a lot yesterday.
Yeah. Play with some of the momentum names from yesterday. I think that's probably the best thing to do. But yeah, it's actually really warm out right now. So I don't know how much longer the snow. I had to shovel a little bit this morning just to make sure the wife could get out of the driveway. But it's 2 degrees right now, +2. So
yeah, I think it's getting up to 4.
Yeah, I don't think it will last today, but it's a little rainy right now. Yeah, it gets up to 3 p.m. 4 degrees. So it'll probably all melt, which is
But if we get any more late
slushy, I don't like the slush.
They were saying possible freezing rain tomorrow.
Right, see, that would freeze everything over.
That's what you really, really don't want, for sure. But no, one of the things that was said just there is, like, when you think about this holiday shortened week and maybe volume's a little bit lighter, yesterday, Rigetti, IonQ, those quantum names went absolutely ham. It was like a $3 move over double-digit percentage to the upside. So there are going to be things that move. It might not be the most ridiculous volume. This was good volume yesterday. But you look back to some of those key levels, like look what was tradable and what was actually going, because there were a lot of things that, like started and then fizzled. Like Palantir, obviously at the open, it gave you just a wealth of opportunity, but look at how much choppiness it ended up at the end of the day. So you have to have that in the back of your mind. You could find some range-bound trading in individual names in the middle and later portions of the session, and maybe look for those early quick hits and things that are going to be in play. And don't sit here trying to find movement in a stock that is not moving. When they're going, they're going. But in a week like this, if they stop and start going sideways, either you're cool with that range-bound trade for that small little scalp, or you're just going to have to move on. Oh, and the NFL did come to their senses. 2 games, like a Metcalf got.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Right.
That's good. Yeah, as long as he misses the paychecks and everything, that's the only thing.
That was always going to be the thing.
That's the only thing that would matter.
That was just weird that to me he didn't get kicked out during the game.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know when that happened. But,
it was literally in the second.
Oh, was it?
Second quarter.
Okay.
He played the second half of the game.
2 games for assaulting a fan seems. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, he'll probably get sued and everything as well. So, all right, guys. Yeah, not too busy here today. We should, if his camera's working, have Mitch today, but who knows? It's December the 23rd, and yeah. Anything else we're missing back there? How was your travel in, Adara and Sharif today?
It was slushy as hell, Sean. I mean, well, I know you don't think I live in Midtown. So in the area where I live, it's a little colder than downtown. So it hasn't turned quite to slush. So I had to fend through the high snow. You get to downtown, it's a little warmer. So everything's melting, it's raining, it's slushy. How was your walk-in?
It was a very slushy walk. I live right in downtown and I walk, and it was slushy, but we are here and we're ready to talk markets.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk a little Tesla. Tesla nearing that $500 area, making all-time highs. Earlier this week, today, they get the nod from Canaccord, raising their price target nicely here on TSLA to the tune of $551. That is up from $482. They do maintain that same buy rating, so nothing changed there. All that aside, they are, Adara, estimating that the deliveries for Q4 are going to drop substantially from 470,000 down to 427, but they're looking past that.
Well, we have another analyst note, too, that I want to touch on that also expects lower deliveries, but they have a sell rating and roughly $247 price target on TSLA. That's UBS. So, I mean, between that Canaccord and UBS price target, obviously vastly different. But again, in both cases, expecting lower deliveries, with UBS's delivery expectation about 5% lower than the analyst average. So we'll have to see what comes out. But it looks like either way, we're probably not going to get a great delivery number from Q4 25.
Yeah, so what they're saying, guys, for Canaccord in specific, they're saying, look, the end of the EV subsidies in September was certainly a drag on demand, but they're saying this is a necessary reset that the entire market has to go through. They say the near-term drag is acknowledged, but they believe that it's going to force the market to rationalize, and they could see Tesla coming out on top here because of their scale and their vertical integration. So good look for Tesla this week, guys, as it inches closer into all-time highs, trading up 1/3% this morning.
Going to be moving a ton on this. I think the one concern you're going to have to contend with is the opposite of what I was saying, the stocks that didn't move in the afternoon. Well, this one did move. And it's where it moved from that would be like the mild concern, because it'll show you, it shows you the key price areas. Like in the morning, Tesla was catching bids off 493 at one point, and then later in the day, it seemed like there was support in there, and then it just dropped like an absolute rock, seemingly out of nowhere at 306. And this is the sort of thing that can happen on a day like today, or like a holiday shortened week where you have lighter volumes, is when you get through a chop zone or a supply zone, there's just not a heck of a lot stopping it until it finds another one. So you get that 487, and if you're not paying attention to that, obviously there was a double bottom from yesterday. So yeah, positive news here, but relative to the market, it's barely up when the market is barely down and overall flat. Just would not want to trade it away from the key price. And if it loses 87, I think you can get down into the 70s pretty easily because of that lack of liquidity. We've been talking about this consolidating up here. It'd be nice if 87 was some great higher low and then we're starting to respect resistance for support. But if that's not the case, and we lose that bid, probably call it more like 85. I think Tesla a couple of bucks. If it loses 85, I think you're waiting for those mid 70s. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's actually pretty healthy to find it consolidating near the all-time high before it makes a clean 500 break. Which, by the way, I mean, the 500 break, as long as we sit at 490, the 500 break's in play every single day. Until we'd have to be trading underneath 480 bucks to not be considering it. But the first thought would be looking at what happened in the afternoon, that Tesla's a dip buy based on the way that it was selling, and couldn't really catch that bid in the afternoon. It was weird, like nothing was really moving, and then all of a sudden Tesla just decided it was going to drop.
So really experienced that one. I was going to say, like, I mean, all these notes are kind of the same thing. Near-term delivery expectations, of course, have been lowered, which we already know about the deliveries there. The firm citing, this is Canaccord, of course, EV adoption outside the U.S., progress in FSD, robo-taxis, the compensation, and the robotics and energy storage. I mean, there's all these names and not names, reasons why Tesla's going to work. And I mean, I think we all believe in those. And if you don't, that's fine. It's just, that's where the upgrades are coming from, are things other than cars, right? I mean, and reasons to get excited other than the EV deliveries. So to me, this is just kind of a run-of-the-mill upgrade, which is fine. 551 price target, so that's good. From 482, so their price target is actually right where we are right now. So Canaccord, if we're going to believe anybody, it might be them. Their price target on Tesla before this upgrade was 482, so they nailed it. So now their price target is 551. Like, I don't know. I guess they're just using some sort of a multiple there. But for me, yeah, it's the same area as yesterday, man. I mean, it's already the number one idea on here. It was number one equity idea yesterday, and I'm just going to wait to see about these areas here, 485 to 486. Easily could get to that level, right? I mean, yesterday we ripped up $4 or something right off the open, $5, and then we cranked lower, which is why we wound up being negative on this stock. We cranked lower all the way into 485 yesterday. So we went down about $13, $14 straight off the open. And I think that could happen again here today. Not to this straight down 13 or 14, but if it does bump up a little bit, we could get into this 94, 95 area and then sort of retest. And it's those ideas that we want to get long off of. So I'm excited to put down between 485 to 487 as a great trading opportunity for Tesla. And on a weak volume day, which today probably will be, I feel like this thing could float around. And so let's see if it does hit some tops and hit some bottoms. And you do want to trade names that have some sort of action to them. Otherwise today might be one of those slower days with the Nasdaq just being flat here off the open. And, Joe today sick and or shoveling. So we'll have Obi in,
or both.
Obi in today at 11 o'clock. Yeah, so no Joe today, no upgrades or downgrades.
You get no Joe options for the options, but we do have silver moving. So yeah, actually, with the market actually just ticking down a little bit here on the Nasdaq, just had silver pop higher. I see in the chat, Weewan's making a good point. Silver leads this time in the gold and silver rally. That is absolutely true. Not that, look, it's not that gold isn't doing anything crazy, but there is SLV. And if you pull up GLD, yesterday it made a fresh high. Silver had been making fresh highs for quite some time. You can look at the miners as well, doing very well. We were talking about Hycroft yesterday. You got GDX moving around for sure, and maybe leading gold a bit. But yeah, silver is going to be back on the radar. Other metals are in play as well. A couple of weeks ago, I believe it was, when we were talking about Freeport with Mitch. But it was Hycroft. That's what I wanted to get to. Hycroft was the crazy, insane mover in yesterday's trade. And I don't know if it's almost no chance that the stock could possibly move the way that it did yesterday, given that it went like $8 and a bajillion % to the upside. But another 4 or 5 points here. This one's just squeezing. Like it looked relatively normal compared to other miners. And then yesterday it just went like all meme crazy squeezing, and that's the kind of thing. Like maybe you find movement in places that aren't necessarily like your big cap, tech. So I think you got to be looking at the metals, and the miners are going to be a bit of a play as well. We'll have eyeballs on HYMC. Just one note, just because you'll probably see this cropping up on some of our pre-market charts here. Some of our charts are like missing like I usually have my chart start at about 6:30 a.m., but you'll see like some of the prints starting at about 8. I might be using, if I wanted to see further back, I would just pull up my e-signal or something. But you probably see that it's like no, Hycroft didn't only start trading at 8 o'clock. It has been trading all morning.
All right, 8:15, a little bit of a review there of Tesla, some metal stocks, and hopefully some other things. You guys are all done your Christmas shopping back there, or what?
Oh yeah, no, I already gave stuff to my family, so I'm just doing friends and others gifts. We're basically done that as well. Yeah, what about you?
I just got a whole bunch of gift cards, the most impersonal sort of gifts, but I was finished in 15 minutes, so I can't complain about that. Let's talk about Warner Brothers, Paramount, Skydance, and Netflix tie-up. So apparently Paramount, Skydance raised their offer for WBD, but the key shareholders say the revised terms are still not compelling enough to tender shares. We're specifically talking about Harris Oakmark. That's WBD's 5th largest shareholder, and they said, look, we're not going to support the tender, but the changes by Paramount Skydance are necessary but insufficient. Here are the changes. So Paramount lifted its hostile bid up to $108.4 billion, and they increased the breakup fee from $5 billion to $5.8 billion. And they also now are using Larry Ellison, who's, of course, Oracle co-founder, as a personal guarantor for the $40.4 billion part of the bid. They also added protections to match the competing bid from Netflix, though they did not raise that $30 per share offer. Now, many different analysts are weighing in. They're saying, look, this is fantastic that they're moving it up, but they're undervaluing certain parts of Warner Brothers' top shelf media assets. We're talking about the HBO Maxes, DC's, franchises like Harry Potter are being undervalued in the Paramount Skydance deal. Netflix also raised their offer a dare to kind of adjust things a little bit. They moved up their cash offer.
Yeah, so now we have Netflix with that $23.25 per share cash offer. It is a bit lower on price, but Warner Brothers prefers the financing aspect of Netflix's deal. I think it's also worth noting that what we were initially hearing is that the reason Warner Brothers didn't want any deal from Paramount is because they felt specifically Paramount was undervaluing their cable segment. So that's at least from Warner Brothers' perspective. Just to touch quickly on Harris Oakmark as well, they're the only shareholder that we've actually really heard from in any way from the Warner Brothers side of things. Again, the 5th largest shareholder. They said that they still wouldn't tender under this proposal, but then going back to last week, they said they wanted another offer from Paramount Skydance. So kind of odd we're only hearing from this one shareholder here.
All right, guys, not much in the way of price action this morning. WBD down 0.7, Paramount Skydance down 0.5%. What's your look here?
So the Netflix offer is a little bit complicated. It's not really exactly 23.25 in cash because there is a share portion that's like it's effectively supposed to be $4.50 per share. But there's like a whole lot of like weird language that goes with it. So I'll just read for you. The stock component, which is the additional $4.50. Ooh, Randy.
Yes, sir.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Get the refill of coffee. You always need that in the winter. Although coffee doesn't really hydrate you.
No. I was gonna say, I was saying like when I'm at home in the morning, like I don't even really normally have a coffee every morning, but when we're here, I feel like it's a ritual.
Part of the routine. Okay, so let me just quickly read this one for you guys. So they receive, it's $23.25 cash and $4.50 in shares of Netflix common stock for each share of Warner Brothers common stock. However, this $4.50 per share, it's like literally provided the 15-day volume weighted average price of Netflix stock falls between 97.91 and 119.67. If VWAP is below 97.91, Warner Brothers WBD shareholders will receive 0.046. So it's like a percentage. So if at closing the stock is within that range, you get essentially $4.50 worth of Netflix stock. If Netflix drops, you get a percentage. So it's not really, when you think about it, there's no way for the deal to be better effectively than $27.75. Like it pretty much can't be. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's just, there's no mathematical way that if $30 was actually closing that it couldn't be a better deal. That said, I think if you're trading Warner Brothers, it's been pretty safe without there being an increasing bid to fade 29s if you can. And Netflix, on the other hand, still hasn't been able to catch much of a bid. The only good news is that it's been able to, this chart's not, this one load? Oh, great. The only good news is that it's been able to hold a bit of a bottom at 93, which you should be able to see if this chart wants to load. So a temporary bottom on Netflix at 93, probably because they haven't had to raise the bid, but it's not doing anything with this support level, unfortunately. Now it wants to fill out. Yeah, so we already made the low post the deal announcement, and one liquidity grab underneath. It's a triple bottom. I think if you lose that, 92 goes at that point, and I think you're in a little bit of trouble with Netflix. But they haven't increased the bid, so I still like them. I feel like if they were to increase it, which again they have zero reason to at this point, that would be a different story.
Yeah, for sure. I like Netflix down here. We've been buying some shares of it. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. The quarter for Netflix was really good, and I don't have any problems, getting a little bit more of this name. I don't even think it's getting beat up because they're acquiring, and it's a big, huge deal, right? It's $80-something billion. So that's going to be a problem. Warner Brothers was just $7, 8 months ago or whatever. Now it's going to go out at 30-something. So they're paying up for it, and it's going to cost them. And maybe they're not interested anymore at these current valuations. But the $5.8 billion breakup fee is going to be something that Warner Brothers is going to have to eat. And then does that make the difference up in the cash settlement that they're going to be getting from Paramount? It's nice that it's all sponsored by Larry Ellison and everything like that. But at the end of the day, this stock has been beat up here. I still if we go back and find out what day the quarter was, I think you're going to find out that it did have some pretty good reactions there. I believe this was the Warner Brothers October 21st or so. We can go find that out. But I think you're right into some good areas now for Netflix, and I think you got to buy the stock. I like the name. If you want to diversify a little bit, get into some media companies. I think that media is a big play, right? IMAX, we talk about AMC all the time. IMAX is up 45% this year. So Avatar or not, these things are happening. People still want to watch TV. And, I think Netflix is a great sort of tool to get that all going. I wonder whatever happened with Netflix gaming and all that kind of stuff. So
it's still there. I just don't think anybody hasn't really gotten any traction.
Remember, they're also not getting all those cable companies, which are dying legacy businesses. So
they don't want anyways.
I think it's good to get like I was saying, I paid Warner Brothers Discovery $10 a month for a couple months to watch that stupid Toddlers and Tiaras. With the girls, but it's at the end of the day, I think that's what it does. It unlocks all these shows, and they're already paying a lot of money for content anyways. So now they just get proven content with Game of Thrones and some of the HBO. Obviously, we know the HBO's huge library there. So I like it. I think it's a good idea there.
Too is a big franchise.
Yeah, they've already lost, Squid Game is now over. Stranger Things is now over. There's a whole bunch of things here where, although Squid Games is going to come back, Squid Games is going to be back in the USA.
Yeah.
They're going to have a USA version of it.
But, at the
end. So anyways, I like the deal for Netflix, so I'm buying some more shares, and it could be wrong. I don't know. We'll see what happens down here at $93. I can find worse stocks to invest in at these prices, I would think. So. 87.7. You want to talk about worse investments? 87.7 right now. Bitcoin going lower here today, and I don't know what that means for IBIT exactly, but broke through that $50 mark. So this was a level that we had written down yesterday, $50. So we'll have to wait to see. As Neil mentioned, though, some of our charting is having some issues today, so we're gonna have to see. It's telling me it's all the way down here without filling it up. So hopefully these charts will get a little bit better, and as we grow with the time, it'll start to hopefully fill out and we don't get any more, maybe the snow or the slush hit the data cables for a minute there. Oh, trade the pool. I do hope we have Mitch coming through today. Last week he had a bad camera, so I think Best Buy had some deals on, so I'm assuming.
There's always a deal somewhere.
Assuming he went over there and got a little deal on something. If not, Amazon, same-day delivery as well. Yesterday I was on Walmart's website, and they had delivery in the next 2 hours available.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, that's what I think about Costco. I think Costco's in trouble here. Costco's not even a very big position at all. I haven't bought Costco in probably a decade or so, but it's not good, and this is a problem. I'm not going to be buying any more Costco at all until something changes. There's so much competition right now in the retail space that I think a lot of people are getting used to that shopping at home. A lot of consumers getting used to sort of the convenience of just getting whatever they want, whenever they want to, at really great prices. I mean, Walmart's online shopping is getting better and better as well. And we already know some company called, it's like the name of like a jungle or something. I can't remember what it is. It used to be a book company. Amway.
Like a rainforest.
Something like that, but I think it's Amway, Zone something.
Amway.
But you know, I just think that this is a problem, you know, and straight to the downside right here. So yeah, I mean, bouncing off of 800 might be something, but other than that, man, like I don't know. I'm gonna stick it to Costco and just be like, forget about it. You know, either let this stock just sort of get humbled a little bit, which it's been doing, and see where that goes from here. But yeah. Worried a little bit about Costco. Right
we do have some small cap movers here. One of them, Trinity Biotech. Looks like a few headlines for them. They were awarded a major order for 9 million TrinScreen HIV tests. Also, they promoted the new interim CFO here. Looks like
HIV tests.
Yeah, HIV tests. Trinity Biotech.
Oh, HIV. I thought, for some reason, you think COVID. I immediately went to COVID because we were having discussions about COVID shots. I'm like, they're still doing COVID?
They are. But they're up like 70%, 50 million in volume pre-market here. So good runner. Obviously, it'll likely be one of the volume leaders in the day, especially given the fact that it's halfway to 100 million shares. But a big gap up that you'll find. 125 would have been a key level. But if you go all the way back into August, it's pretty much topping at a spot where you would find some resistance, like 165, 170 in here on the daily. So Trinity, it's actually got news. It's not like a couple of the other runners that we've had recently where you can't even find a news story. There's a couple of headlines here for them, the HIV test. And Danny's boy is back with another super chat. Thank you so much. You had a bunch yesterday. We got another one.
Was it this? Here, you put it up.
It was Danny's boy, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure.
It was Danny, but did the names change again?
Change the name?
Did the names change again? No.
I have to caress my mic to fix it.
Are you the same guy? I think you was, but I think the name was different yesterday for some reason. I think it was Danny something else, but there it is. Yeah, you can go ahead with it.
We go. Ditched Dirty Fink, Larry Fink, that Bitcoin usurper. Now I'm climbing Silver Mountain like a Himalayan Sherpa. Bought Highcroft at 10, some Barrick back at 20, with silver breaking 7-0. Now we're in the money. Yep, silver fresh all-time highs, $270. Highcroft, obviously yesterday we were talking about that one. That was $25, I believe. And Barrick, I haven't checked. Let's see what Barrick is doing. $46. That's going to. Oh,
yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, come on, chart.
Oops.
And I hit enter and it's still on TRIB. And that one's still also breaking the tops, although yesterday's high is not taken out on Barrick, believe it or not. So yeah, actually Barrick is like almost like a today breakout for sure. So congrats there, Danny's boy. Metals are 100p in play for sure.
All right, let's go back over the desk with a couple minutes till 8:30. There's actually some PCE numbers and durable goods and everything coming out at 8:30. So that should be interesting, and we'll see if that actually does something to the markets today. But let's go back and see what these numbers are all about.
Yeah, guys, a whole bunch of economic data coming in a few minutes. We'll speak briefly here about Zim integrated shipping up over 8% here to start the morning. Off the highs was about 13% higher. The company confirmed it's received multiple proposals from strategic parties as part of its ongoing review of alternatives. Management did indicate the process is now in the advanced stage, and they're signaling the outcome here could extend beyond exploratory discussions. The review includes the potential sales scenarios, capital allocation changes, and return of capital options. They did disclose that they've received a proposal from an entity controlled by the CEO of the company, Eli Glickman, and shipping executive Rami Ungar. The board determined the offer significantly undervalued the company. As a result, they rejected it, but there are other offers as well. And the fact that there are multiple offers in play has analysts feeling that there may be higher bid or improved terms coming in the near future. Adair. So Zim up nicely here. Let me know when we have the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we've got about 40 seconds until we get these numbers. So I do want to take the moment here, if I may, to prepare you guys for these prints. Of course, the biggest one here, GDP quarter over quarter advance, forecast 3.3. for Q3 versus 3.8 previous. Durable goods here, these are going to be for the month of October, month-over-month basis, negative 1.5% versus 0.5% previous. So we are expecting a drop there for U.S. durable goods. GDP price index, 2.7% forecast, 2.1% previous. Core durable goods here, again, for the month of October, 0.3% versus 0.6% previous. So we are expecting a bit of a decline here for durable goods. GDP price index, we are expecting a bit of an increase. We just have 2 seconds until these numbers come out. Durable goods, negative 2.2%, so well below that negative 1.5% forecast. GDP for Q3, though, well above estimates, 4.3%, guys, versus estimates of 3.3%. So well above estimates and above the previous print of 3.8%. Core durable goods for October, 0.2%, slightly below estimates of 0.3%. GDP price index also above estimates, 3.8% versus 2.7% forecast. So again, higher than expected GDP and GDP price index, lower than expected durable goods and core durable goods.
And no recession on this side of the border yet, guys. Canada's GDP increasing 0.1% in the month of November, so at least a positive print, no negative.
Yeah, technically we're not in a recession, but factually things are not going as well for our economy. Not a ton of movement in the market based off of that, obviously. But the Nasdaq, we're just sort of sitting at some lows, it looks like, and we're not going to get a bounce off. We actually just headed a little bit lower. But want to remind everybody, like yesterday, you actually had strength with the Nasdaq weakness. You had some strength in the ES. You just had to look to some other sectors as part of the reason why. But again, we're still very much just range bound off of yesterday. Like if I were to, I'm going to zoom in for you. This is a 60-minute chart. If I'm zooming in, like the ES is holding the top of the range from yesterday's trade or the afternoon trade, and then the Nasdaq essentially just holding the bottom end of the range. So nothing has really changed based on it. I don't expect anything. That's not going to move the needle whatsoever. No surprise. I don't think we've had some kind of GDP surprise in quite some time. So yeah, nothing really changes too much off of that. As I said, you've got to make sure, just even looking at pre-market volumes, like if you've been trading a while, and this is your first day of trading, you have no frame of reference, you'll immediately see that there's going to be lower volumes. And so you've got to be making sure that you're trading something that's moving, or at least at a key price level. Because this is exactly the kind of day where if you're trying to diddle in the middle, you're probably going to get like just messed around with all day long. That's why we're talking about things like tin. That's why we're talking about the metals. That's why we'll talk about things like Rigetti that were moving around yesterday. The Carnival Cruise Lines and things that were actually moving a little bit more. But yeah, but no futures move whatsoever on that number.
Yeah, no, we're not getting too much action here at all. So we'll just have to be, we'll just have to wait to see if anything happens here at some point today. Nvidia right now, 183. So, you want to trade names, even though they're might not be much. Oh, here we go. Oh wow, he brings it over too. 3 slices of bacon. I might just, thank you, Randy. Oh my God. Wow. Lunch has arrived right there. The caterers are in the building. Thank you, Ramin.
That's what that.
And people say we're a trading show. No, this is why we got what's for lunch going on here, and it's not tilapia today. So thankfully for that one. Bacon a little too underdone for me. Yes, I agree, Trader Forever. A little underdone there, but I'll go see if there's some better pieces. All right, thank you so much, Randy, for bringing that. But I was just going to say, like, Nvidia down 0.4 right now. AMD, like some of these trades you're just going to look at today. Get that all figured out. Where the action is going to be. We had Uber moving around yesterday off $80. These are the kind of plays, like, because the GDP number there didn't do anything. It was actually the U.S. GDP quarter over quarter plus 4.3 versus plus 3.3. So a little bit better on that side of things. Durable goods 0.2 versus 0.3. So yeah, you're not getting much movement in any of these names. So I just go back to the names that have been moving around, the Teslas, the Rivians. Tesla's almost into a level there that I already like already. Rivian back down to 21 and change, right? I figured out that company I was talking about, it was Amazon. So 228 and change for Amazon, flat on the day. That trying to look at 230 again for AMZN. But yeah, man, it'll be something here. We'll figure it out today. Amazon 0.1. Yeah, just about looking for, a name that's been running in Micron. Micron could be something that continues to light the lamp there. And then Micron reminds me of Oracle as well. So, there are some players that we can trade off of today. So Yeah, all right, that's it, man. Yeah, Canadian GDP up as well. US dollar moving a little bit on the DXY, but...
You know what's bouncing nicely?
Oh, yeah?
CRM
Check that position.
has been bouncing rather nicely. The triple bottom at 230. You're just sort of going through the names that have been moving. Low key, like this was a quiet one yesterday. I don't think I heard anybody talking about this. I don't think I heard even like other, like CNBC or whoever it might be mentioning this bounce. But triple bottom, it's above and breaking out. It's one thing to get above the 200 period moving average, but now it's looking to break out. Now the problem with this is I don't think it breaks this local high, like 267, once, twice. It's $5 away today. Probably needs some kind of a catalyst. So I don't think we're talking CRM breakout until either maybe it needs like an upgrade, maybe it needs some kind of a story, but it has been moving pretty decently. And I think that 67, it's on the radar at some point for a breakout. I just don't know if it'll end up being this week, but that's an undercover name. It's a couple of points, about 1.5% yesterday, I believe, and looking rather flat today. But I am setting an alert for that 267 on Salesforce. It has not been the best year at all for Salesforce. Adara, it was CRM. What are the other two worst? What are the worst performing names in tech? It wasn't CRM. It was
in Dow? I think CRM was like number 2. By far the worst was UNH.
It was UNH. That's what it was.
If I remember correctly.
It wasn't tech. It was UNH. But it's the worst. Yeah. It's the worst performing tech name in the Dow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But UNH, yuck.
Yeah.
Well, everyone knows about UNH this year.
UNH is a problem.
Big time.
All right, just asked everybody in chat there on Twitter what's your number one trade idea today. So I'll put it in the chat there. You guys hit me up right there. Yeah, let me know what
you're trading your bacon for. I actually don't mind it.
Trading my bacon for a little bit more. No, I won't trade it in, but just won't eat much of it. It's a little too under for me, but it's okay. All right, so 8:36 right now. We have our watch list. We have our scanners going. We have everything up and going. So let me know what you guys are thinking there. Short IBIT, short Tesla. Yeah, some good ideas right there. So we'll get that going in just a couple minutes as now the Q's starting to fall down a little bit. So here comes the Nasdaq bleeding down a little bit right now as Bitcoin's starting to drop down as well. Bitcoin having a nice move. Bitcoin was just 87.8 a couple seconds ago. Now you're down to 87.4. Bitcoin wants to test some lows, man. It might not be a good run at the end of the year here for BTC, but we'll get all that, man. Solana, Cardano, Ripple, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all probably great to play today as well. So those could be some names that are on our mind right here. I gotta go. My throat is getting a little wobbly here. I'm gonna go get a tea, but this is not Canadian bacon, man. Pea-meal bacon.
Yeah, pea-meal bacon. They've done it before. We've had pea-meal bacon.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if there isn't a sandwich or something like that, they normally put that into. So. All right, we can go back over to the desk.
Let's talk a little Coinbase over here, picking up predictions market startup called The Clearing Company. Its 10th acquisition this year for 2025. The deal is expected to close in January. If you're wondering what's going on over here, Coinbase already has its own internally operating predictions market, but they're looking at expanding through this acquisition. Critics of these products, they counter. They say, look, these prediction markets, they blur the line between investing and betting, drawing heightened regulatory scrutiny. Analysts are also pointing to the flattening revenue curve for Coinbase. They say, look, they're intentionally broadening their product suite as competition intensifies in crypto. Crypto trading becomes a bit more crowded. Prediction markets are viewed as high engagement, high frequency product. Adara, a good look for them here to diversify away from just brokerages.
It's been a really good year for Coinbase in general. We know they are now part of the S&P 500, and earlier this month as well, announcing they're going to be launching their own prediction market platform. They're going to be enabling stock trading. They're really trying to compete not just in the crypto space, but also with these more traditional brokerages. So this is a really interesting look here for COIN. This is just kind of continuing this run they've already been on. Nice start to the year anywhere. At least they had that nice resurgence when they joined the S&P 500 lately, lagging with the crypto space, but let's see if they can stand out with this.
Yeah, that's exactly it, guys. Bitcoin down here, almost 1%. Looks like Coinbase kind of just shadowing the price of Bitcoin. It's also down 1.5% despite the news.
The crazy thing is, if you bought the day that Coinbase was added to the S&P, if you bought it that day, I think you got like $259. It's now trading under that price. Like it went all the way to $440 from that date, and then just getting absolutely rugged. And the crazy thing about it is like it's like the pullback in Bitcoin and other crypto tops. This was much worse the entire time, and now it's sort of resting on support. So like Robinhood has sort of provided the blueprint for what is working. Coinbase, excuse me. Now I have something in my throat. And Coinbase is just trying to catch up here, and the market's not really liking it. You have some support down at that 240 level, but if we lose that, like, here'd be my fear specifically. Like, I look over at Bitcoin, and still everything about it sort of suggesting still that that you might test those mid 70s. Well, if Bitcoin loses 80K, what do you think happens to Coinbase here? At that 240 level, is it going to be too little too late? I think this is one that you might be able to wait for on a discount. I mean, if you expect Bitcoin to go lower, I kind of do, then I think you expect Coinbase to lose that bid and then maybe wait for a better opportunity to pick it up, because this has not been a good last 2 quarters at all for Coinbase's stock. It's been only trending down off of those highs, hasn't really found any support yet that it can start making higher highs, and I think you still got to wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just following Bitcoin. So if you don't like Bitcoin, you're not going to like Coinbase. I mean, Bitcoin's high is 130,000 or 128 or whatever it is. So now you're at 87,000 for that. So, you know, you're getting clubbed almost the same way. We put up an IBIT chart here on the monthly. Obviously, Coinbase made all-time highs or came close enough to that. This is a weekly chart. So I don't think we talked about zooming back out. I don't think there's too much of a worry here, but you go back to the beginning of last year, you've now just turned red on Coinbase. This is sort of where we started last year, around 270, 280. The beginning of this year. So Coinbase now underneath that, right? And so IBIT's not going to have as many data points here because it hasn't been around as long. But this is what IBIT's been doing. It's almost, you can overlay the charts over the last couple months or couple years, I guess, since this has been around, right? Like there's Bitcoin at the beginning of the year as well, was around this $54, $55 mark, and now you're all the way down in here to 50. So you're down about 8 or 9% on BTC, it looks like, using IBIT charts. So yeah, man, no surprise to me that we're heading to the south side here. IBIT down 0.84. I'm just talking about Coinbase. Like, it's going to go with all these names. So Ethereum also, wow, that's only $22 right now. That's been really gotten hit as well. Hopefully a lot of you escaped, as Tom Lee probably did there, ran away with everybody's money. $34 to $36 right into there. So now you're down all the way to $22 again. So I think we just wait to see when all these sharks get back in. And then, you know, when you start hearing them pumping it, again, maybe that's time to put the risk back on. But right now I think it's risk off. But yeah, the market just went for a little bit of a dip there. I'm assuming a name like Tesla might have also hit 487. So it's down to the area that I was thinking about anyways. I'm being a little, trying to wait on making the note here too much because the market is bouncing around a little bit there. So we'll have to wait to see what happens there with Tesla. I don't think we're going to get to 500 today, but we're heading to the south side right now in the market, only down 0.2. Not really worth crying about this too much, but yeah, nice downside move here for Tesla to start the day. All right, it's 8:43. I don't know if Mitch is coming through or not, but if he is, we'll hear some more talk about hopefully some different trade ideas coming out.
You got a super chat
very soon.
We got to.
Go ahead, yeah.
From another Ash here.
Can
KDK get some thought from y'all if time allows? Well, time is allowing. Caress my mic again? Okay. Well, apparently Mike is still having issues. Now, see, Ramin's like letting me know when we have mic issues, I have to do this to my mic or whatever. So I'm just gonna let you know. I apologize. There's nothing I can do. It's like some static electricity thing with my microphone. Kodiak AI, they're trading, not really moving. There was news last week on this, on Thursday. They announced like an agreement with Verizon, but it's not really moving. Oh, snap. Oh, thanks, Randy. Thanks, Randy. But it's not doing much of anything today. That said, like it has been on a good run, KDK. This would have been when the news was announced. So you were going from like a $9 breakout on news, taking out this $10 resistance. So, doing a bit of a healthy pullback, it seems. Like in the prior highs would give you the $10 level. And as long as it can hold like the news-based breakout at 9, right here, see the volume strike, you do have a nice area that you could pull back into. But there's nothing that's going to move it today. There's no catalyst for it today. And when that happens, sometimes you have a run like this, $6 to $11, it's going to go into a healthy pullback. It's a matter of holding 10 or $9 at some point. So I think you're just sort of in a wait mode on this, because really the time you would have bought it would have been on the news, I would presume, or you might have it on a trend break. Buying up here wouldn't make a ton of sense until it settles down a bit. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit there. Another ASH, and then keep your ear to the ground, because it's probably the kind of stock that if there's another catalyst, it can start to get going. Just nothing here today.
Yeah, we'll be all over everything catalyst-wise. I mean, we just need to wait. We got the news in our ear. We'll figure out if anything's moving, and we'll get that to you ASAP. Adair will be here all day with some of the breaking news stories. We got Obi filling in today for Joe, and that should be good. So we have a good midday show all lined up. And for everybody watching, make sure you do hit the subscribe button, become a member of the show completely for free. You can get into our chat, which is where we're reading all these questions from. And we're now starting, if you're joining us now, thank you so much, but we're starting at 8 a.m. now. So get here. We've already been on the air now for 46 minutes. And it's been a good one so far. We'll run down many names, roughly starting around 9 o'clock. We have our watch list. We have Sharif's morning note as well that has hit everybody's who is a member. You go access that. Bitcoin coming back a little bit, 87.7, as the market starts to turn around a little bit there. So there's a turnaround. We were just talking about this at 87.4, and it had that move, a little bit of a move down. Now you're getting, it's nothing. If I zoom in, maybe it looks so more dramatic. But there it is, a little bit of a move up here on the futures as well. So you can see everything's sort of trading together right now as far as all of that. Yeah, I'm working on the sticky note today, but just waiting for something to see if there's any sort of key levels that I like here. Right now I only have Tesla on, but thank you for asking there. CompuCare team in the chat. I'll be getting that out very, very soon. Yeah, all right, let's go back over the desk and figure out what they want to talk about.
You're joining us late today. We got a whole bunch of economic numbers on this holiday shortened week at 8:30. Let's go through some of them here. U.S. final GDP in Q2 unrevised to 3.8% as the U.S. continues leading the world here in GDP growth after COVID advancing. U.S. GDP growth for Q3, consensus estimate was 3.3. Prediction here is 4.3. Real final sales up 4.6% in Q3. October durable goods orders, excluding transportation, up 0.2, but compare that to the print in September, up 0.7. U.S. corporate profits after tax up 4.4% on the quarter. PCE price index, this is not core, 2.8%. PCE, the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation in Q3. Likewise over here with core PCE up a little bit higher, 2.9% in Q3. Separately, I wanted to mention this story. It's not a big one. Looks like JP Morgan is weighing crypto trading expansion specifically for their institutional clients. This is being reported by Bloomberg and cited by Reuters. The initiative would be housed within JP Morgan's market division, and they could include spot crypto trading as well as derivatives, expanding the bank's footprint in digital assets. Discussions, Adara, are still in the early stages with any concrete rollout really dependent here on client demand and the regulatory comfort.
And I want to mention as well here with JPM, all these banks are really strong. Citigroup hitting multi-year highs. I was reading JP Morgan, as you can see yesterday, closed near its intraday high. But this is actually a really big move because we know JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon has been a little waffly when it comes to crypto. Now, making this move would basically show that JP Morgan is continuing to try to accept crypto. And also, in general, just major crypto acceptance from these Wall Street banks. So it would be a pretty significant step should JPM actually make this choice again. Just a report by Bloomberg for now.
All right, guys, and we've seen this story before from some other peer banks. Morgan Stanley also plans to roll out crypto trading on its E-Trade platform in 2026, and they're partnering up here with Zero Hash, Neil. So JPM throwing their hat into the institutional crypto ring.
There's no choice here because you've already had Robinhood decide that we want your money. We're going to keep it. We're going to keep you in forever by offering you pretty much everything that you need, whether it's crypto trading, stock trading, tokenization, which is starting to integrate itself as well, and now you have the events markets and whatnot. And while those pull back, and rightfully so, they got a little bit parabolic. It's seeming like it's going to be like the traditional bank's turn right now. I like the XLF this year, and they've been trying to break out, but JP Morgan just yesterday, there's a triple top. So we can say all we want, but if you look at the changing of the guard, since that Bitcoin high, it's been, the play has been to go over to the traditional banks, and to the extent that they can dip their toes in the water, it's really more about offering what is now becoming a little bit more standard in the industry. So JPM, it's worth, look, it's not going to have done a lot of pre-market volume. Obviously, that's going to be true. But anything that's making an all-time high, whether it's JPM, I believe Wells might be as well, it's got to be on your radar. There wasn't much breakout strength in the market yesterday, things that were trending for the majority of the day. Even as strong as silver was, it didn't break its downward trend until the afternoon. Like I said, you had some quantum names that were doing some nice moves, and then you would have had CCL, NCLH, some of the obviously some of the cruise names are doing pretty well, but you did have the banks performing strongly yesterday. So that's another place that you can look to. Again, I'd want to see this settle off of the open, but even if you just waited for that, it was a bit of a dance off the open yesterday before eventually breaking out, but then look at that nice, easy consolidation over prior highs and then trend up. That's all you got. You really just need one of those when we're thinking about it. Yesterday, if I have a regret yesterday, it was, not getting back into CCL on that uptrend, but it was maybe just trading a few too many things that didn't really show that they wanted to go. It's once I missed a short, okay, well, didn't have to necessarily chase anything, but CCL was an example. If you find something in an upward trend on a day like yesterday, or potentially on a day like today, you're going to want to be able to stick with it. Because if it's moving, I'd rather bet on it continuing to move than trying to fight something in stocks that aren't going anywhere. And JP Morgan and the banks, they're definitely giving you that. We're still hunting for, oh, there we go. Yeah, some of these charts, we're still looking for the confirmation of that breakout on the XLF. So XLF took a while to break out. You're now consolidating above that prior high that you waited forever, that 54 to break. You're consolidating above, and it's there's your consolidation, there's your attempt to break. It's kind of in that nexus point where, okay, well, it's not cleared enough from that high to consider it a new range just yet. But I think if you can close the week certainly above this 55 and a third on XLF, I think this is a great place to go. Waited forever for this breakout. I think the financials have their time. Good news for JPM, but it's just what they have.
Some JP Morgan, I haven't even looked at it there today. I like some Alibaba maybe moving around today as well here as we hit above that 150 key marker. So we'll have to wait to see if Alibaba gets some movement there today as well. So just try to find some areas. We talked about yesterday DraftKings as well. They made a decent amount of money there on the Jake Paul Joshua fight there because obviously a lot of people were betting on Jake Paul with the plus 900 or whatever. So that worked out really well for them. So that was good. They were about to lose $100 million or something if Jake Paul won. All right, so DraftKings could be another player, and you can see DraftKings right here. It's really trying to break one way or the other. And I don't know if there's going to be enough juice in that thing to break today, but $34 could hold for DraftKings, so that would be a look there for me. And then we didn't look at too much mega cap yet, but Apple in and around that 270 could also be a play as well. So yeah, man, lots, if the chart's ever load, but lots of stuff happens. See, here's Apple. Apple's actually a decent area, range trade today. You can get it long down here around 270. Do we have enough to really make a move like this today? Probably not. So a drift down into 270, I think, is a good little long pickup there for Apple heading into year end. So yeah, I think there's a lot of different things here. So we'll be fine today looking for some names. As long as crypto is moving around a little bit as well, the Nasdaq will be there. I'm going to be trading the Qs and Tesla for sure. So those are some good trade ideas there with only 5 minutes to go. Novo Nordisk, of course, bouncing around today on the oral GLP approval from the FDA. So that would be another story. You can get it all on the watch list, and make sure you do, guys. Get into the chat, get into the subscribers mode. They're 547,000. Get us to 500,000. If you're watching, 550. If you're watching right now, man, like hit the subscribe button. Let's see if we can get that. We have 3,700 of you watching, and generally speaking, we hit the subs on thing here. It's about 22%, Fabian. Right there. So it's still the magical number. It doesn't matter how many people are watching or whatever. It's always 78-22.
Exactly
so
22.
yeah, hit the subscribe if you haven't yet. That would be great. So thank you so much for all of that, and the like button as well. But more importantly, the subscribes, so you guys can get into the chat. You know, that's what we're all about right now. So I found I got a lemon tea with honey and ginger and a Christmas time cup. So cheers.
Oh, and the other thing, when you're in the chat,
Yahoo!
Once you hit the subscribe, you can be in the chat, and you can throw up by typing $, let's just say, you know, like you could go, maybe like Freeport McMoran. Maybe you like CCL, which I'm going to do today, because that's going to be in play. But Novo is going to be up there. TRIB, this is that Trinity Biopharm stock, the one with the HIV testing deal. SOC here, Tesla, FJet. That was, of course, yesterday's big time IPO. We got SILVE. Okay. So I guess some people try to type silver in there. You can just go with SLV. That'll work as well. Tesla XOM. That's in play. We've talked about Netflix and Zim as well. Eli Lilly, obviously going to be a little bit down on that Novo news. Meta is going to be on the list as well, and I don't even know what. Oh, I get it. HIHO, it's off to work we go. That's not an actual stock. Oh my goodness, it's an actual stock. Highway Holdings. No, okay. Well, you know what? I'm thinking like it's just some kind of a HIHO.
It's actually moving.
HIHO. It's not only is it a stock, it's moving. So shout out to you guys. HIHO, up 73%. I'm sure there's a story for this one here. What do we got? Well, I shouldn't say I'm sure there's a story. There's likely a story for Highway Holdings. Yeah, microcap, eyes, German manufacturer in growth bet. So they're acquiring 51% of Germany's Regent, Feinbau, some German company closing in March. So they've made a bit of an acquisition to expand. Who knows? Highway Holdings. So there you go. There's a second small capper, which is running like absolutely crazy. I would show you some price history on my, but some of the like I said, some of the pre-market charts aren't really showing us all of the data. But good mover here for HIHO.
Let's go back to the desk.
Here before we start the rundown, but I wanted to mention, where did my thing go? There we go. Alphabet looking to pick up, they're picking up more power generation companies here. They intersect with Accelerate DC for a power build-out. So Alphabet announced it will acquire Intersect, which is a data center and energy infrastructure company, to the tune of $4.75 billion in cash. It's also going to assume its debt. Intersect, though, will remain operationally independent, but the deal is designed to speed up the data center and power generation capacity. We know that that is a key bottleneck for the AI build-out. The acquisition expected to close in the first half of next year, so a quick turnaround time there. Intersect will work closely with Google. They already have a working relationship. It's going to be Google's technical infrastructure team, though, which is going to be co-located at the data center and the power site, which is in Texas. And Google's already spent or committed to spending about $40 billion to Texas through 27, mostly with AI build-out. And they've, as I mentioned, Intersect has previously partnered with Google for the TP and TPG Rise Climate to develop gigawatts of U.S. power. So keep your eye out on that. Let's look at the futures here to start the morning. We're already down 0.17 on the ES March contract, guys. We closed out yesterday at 69.30. So we cleared 6,900 by some distance. We're now looking at that 50-point area as our first level of resistance. We're talking, of course, about 69.50, despite the fact that the overnight high, 69.36. As our first level of supported area, we're using 6,900. All right, guys, make sure to get the watch list every morning. Adair prepares it, and we all use it. It helps you organize your day, lets you know what's running, what to prioritize, and of course, no good morning routine is complete without a good watch list. Let's start with the first topic here. On the morning rundown, Novo Nordisk shares surge after the FDA clears the first ever GLP-1 pill. It is the first oral of the like, launching with a 1.5 milligram starting dose. It's going to be early. It's going to be available early January. Introductory price is going to be $149 US, of course, per month. And this aligns with Washington's broader push to lower the out-of-pocket costs, making the drugs accessible and more affordable, Adair. So good luck here for Novo.
Yeah, and I think also a nice look as well for that Trump RX. I do want to talk as well about how this compares to competition, because of course, Eli Lilly, which is moving slightly lower on this news, is a major competitor here. Now, this FDA approval for Novo Nordisk does give the company a first mover advantage over competitors, including Eli Lilly. Analysts apparently saying that Novo Nordisk's clinical data does appear to be strong. Novo Nordisk, of course, super volatile. They got a new CEO this year, Mike Dustar, who said earlier today that they're certainly looking for more M&A opportunities. We know they tried to acquire Metsera. Pfizer ended up beating them out in a bidding war.
All right, guys, it should be mentioned that Eli Lilly is putting out its own pill, which has been given clearance by the FDA for a fast-tracked approval. We'll have to wait and see when they get the nod, but it is in the works, so keep an eye out for that. But Novo up nicely here to start the morning.
Yeah, Lilly's going to come with theirs, but at this point, it doesn't look like it is as effective as Novo's. If this doesn't give Novo the bottom, then I'm not sure what will. To be honest. Like it almost has to. This has to be it. Like this is the catalyst you're looking for. This is potentially giving them an advantage. This is something that they actually get out first. And on the daily chart, it would suggest that it's already found some support here. It's been a while, not forever, but it's been a couple of months. It's been above the 50-period moving average, but it's a pretty clean breakout on the daily from about $51. Like you're gapped up into that zone. Like I wrote in the note down, to look for anything in the prior highs, which is in the high 50s to 51. But I think any dip into that range is going to be worth any kind of a reversion. And then I'll also, of course, be looking at the volume weighted average price. I think we're up 9% right now, and just given the way the market's gone and the way the trade has been the last couple of weeks, and certainly on most of these gap up names, I feel like if it's not currently going parabolic, look for some profit taking off the open. So it's that 51 area that I want to be long out in front of for Novo Nordisk. Certainly it's going to be in play today. I don't really have any, again, I'm not changing anything on Eli Lilly. To me, this wouldn't necessarily be a reason to sell. Like if you had never trimmed anything on Eli Lilly at all, then this could give you a reason to say, okay, well, it's been such a ridiculous stock, such a fantastic stock, maybe you want to take some off here. But I'm not. I mean, I've already sold a couple times in Eli Lilly to take some profit, but it's slightly down today, but that stock is very near to its highs, its all-time highs anyways, maybe like 5% from the all-time high in Eli Lilly. But I think Novo, it's looking like it's finally found that bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Eli Lilly's only traded 3 days above its current price. So, I mean, it's well above here, and I'm not worried at all about this. I think it's a good thing for Eli Lilly. Like if they got an approval for their oral, then I'm sure Eli Lilly is just knocking on the door to get that rate back as well. So yeah, Novo Nordisk, obviously my chart's not working. It's up here at $52 and change. So up now 9% NVO. Neil told me to log out and back in. That might work. It made them worse. So now my charts are completely useless. So yeah, that's really good. All right, so back over to the desk.
Let's talk a little Tesla here. Canaccord, multiple analyst ratings today, but Canaccord raising the price target on Tesla despite what they're calling a near-term delivery cut. Let's talk about it. So the price target on Tesla got bumped from 482 to 551 with Canaccord maintaining the buy rating. They did, however, reduce their Q4 delivery estimate down to 427,000 cars. That is from the prior estimate of 470,000. And they're citing here sharper than expected demand slowdown across products and regions. We know Canaccord is arguing here that recent price actions suggest investors, they're looking past Q4 and they're focusing instead on the improving medium-term to long-term fundamentals. Of course, we are talking about the energy business. We're talking about robotics, Optimus as well. And the firm views the end of the U.S. EV subsidies as a necessary reset that could ultimately create a healthier, more durable demand environment for these EVs. Adair, what more can you tell us about the rating upgrades today?
I mean, they did certainly acknowledge these other issues here with the company, saying that demand does have a near-term drag. They acknowledge that, but they still believe that this reset is going to be forcing rationalization across the EV space. Apparently, the company's scale and integrated manufacturing model position it better than its peers to absorb the transition. So basically, compared to these other EV names, they are positioned a little bit better. Canaccord also talking about EV adoption in other emerging markets. I do want to mention as well here, UBS today coming out, maintaining its sell rating and $247 price target on Tesla. They're expecting the company to deliver 405,000 vehicles in Q4. That is the lowest I've seen, but it's worth noting all of the analyst targets I've seen for deliveries are lower than the consensus estimate, so this should be pretty interesting.
All right, Sean, I'm going to give you this one. Over, under. Tesla hits $500 before New Year's Eve. What do you think? Neil as well.
Over, I think it's going to be over on that one. And yeah, Neil, don't log out. The charts get worse. So
I don't trust them.
Yeah, but I would say over 500 New Year's Eve. Neil, what do you think?
New Year's. Oh, we have all week. Oh, over then. It just close over or touch over.
Just hit it.
Then yeah, over.
What about you, Sharif? What do you think?
I'm gonna have to take the betting line there.
She wants you to say it again. Ramin wants you to say it again.
Sorry, my mistake, Ram. I'm going to take over. I'm going to take the betting line with the boys. I think if you're just looking for a quick wick above $500, you get it. Unless there's some big negative headline that we get from Elon Musk and company. How about yourself?
All right, let's ask someone that actually knows what they're talking about. Adara, what do you think?
Honestly, I think just based on the technicals, I have a feeling it's probably going to be until after New Year's. That being, if we even get a spike above it with those delivery numbers, I think that's probably the most likely scenario. We spike just above 400, and as Tesla usually does with deliveries, we probably give it all back.
You mean 500? Right?
There we go. Yeah, 500. Yeah. Yeah, no, we always go to Adara there. We always talk about the smartest kid in the room there. So thanks, Adara. No, Sharif, I think that's a great point as well about all these technical breaks. And I think Tesla, with all this action on there, and Sharif's big into the automotive space as well. And thanks, Adara, for that. We can maybe get Randy on here, see what he thinks as well. But I think, you know what? The more I think about this, it's like, three of us say over, Adara says under. It's just a matter of, it's just a level at this point. Like, it's only $13 away, right? I mean,
one push.
Yeah, like I think that regardless, the $500 marker will get hit. Whether or not it's in January or February or March or April. Like, I think there's a lot of positivity around Tesla right now, and I'm really glad. And it's the most recent stock that I purchased, but I like the fact that they're not talking anymore about the deliveries as much, and like these guys upgrade the stock and say, yeah, we know there's going to be light deliveries. Let's move on. And I think that's what Tesla shareholders want to hear. They want to hear some positivity about other aspects of the business because we know the story. Getting less and less in Europe, getting less and less sales worldwide. China has obviously some competition with Huawei and BYD and just different makers over there. And then even here, right, we've seen the charts of GM and Ford really start to pick up as well to the north side. So something's going on there. Ford getting rid of the F-150 EV and now going hybrid. So we know that there's potentially issues with the EV space in sales. So, for me today, I've already written this down. I'm about to publish the sticky notes, so it's moments away, but this 485, it's where the 200 period moving average is. We're right here right now. It was yesterday's low. The only thing is like, it's where we closed. It's here already. Like, we started the day, and unfortunately my charts aren't working, but we started the day up here. We've faded back in now. So yeah, man, for me, Tesla down here around this 485 is something worth looking at. But now we have to severely wait. Like, here, maybe I'll just call up my e-signal chart. Earlier on in the day, we write these levels down when we were up like there at 490, right? But this is like what Tesla's been doing so far here on a 1 minute chart. So if we come over, there it is. So it's been bleeding, right? Like, we first make our notes and it's at 490.50. So I'm like, okay, if we go down that $4 or $5, then that's an area that we like. Well, we already went down that $4 or $5 now. So now patience is going to remain king, as it always should with Tesla. Wait for it to give yourself a little bit of a look. Yesterday we were very interested in the pre-market tops and bottoms. So we started looking at this at VWAP and at the 200 period, but it just didn't even give us a chance to get out. It just went all the way to the downside. Then we finally had a little bit of a bump there, and then we actually caught the bottom, but stopped out because we had just gotten so many stop outs all the way down that I was like, I'm not going to let this bleed through that low. And of course, it does go about $1 lower. So, you know, generally speaking, I would have held that, but just too much emotional damage from this move down. So now we'll just be patient and wait and see. And now that we zoom back out, man, maybe it is 2 days ago's close in and around 480 that we have to wait for. So I still like the call. I like the upgrade today. You know, it's moving down with the market. So I would say patience with Tesla, and then it'll get going. It'll get going at some time today, right? I don't think this is like a tank day for Tesla here, but been wrong before.
Speaking of it'll get going, I'm going to wait for 10 o'clock. If I execute on Tesla before 10 o'clock, then I'm done. I think it's doing something wrong for myself. Just I'm looking at the up days. So yesterday would classify technically as a mostly up day, but if you didn't have it right in the original breakout, this is about 10 o'clock when it bottoms out and starts running. You get a down day there, but on this up day, it's a bit of a dance. You can see some consolidation, and then this is after 10 o'clock. It's a 10:15 candle. It makes a bottom and starts surging. And then you go to this up day. So it breaks early, fades back in heavily, and then after 10 o'clock, again, the 10:15 candle is the bottom, and then it goes. And you see this sort of pattern over and over again, where even on the days where it breaks out early, the dip usually resolves itself a bottom after 10 o'clock. So I think that's sort of the idea. With it trending down, look for that after 10 o'clock bounce play. And it might not be at a clean level. Like it might be at this it could be at 480, it could be at 475. I'm just going to be a little more time-based with Tesla here today. The chips, on the other hand, they do have some distinct levels. At least the second one on that list does, AMD, Nvidia and AMD.
Nvidia's H200 and AMD's MI308 now available for export to China. Analysts, specifically Raymond James, weighing in on what we could expect in terms of earnings effects. So Raymond James analyst Simon Leopold, he has a bullish scenario here for AMD, which he feels could deliver $500 to $800 million in incremental AMD revenue, translating to about 10 to 20 pennies EPS on a non-GAAP basis. Market chatter centers on China compliant accelerator demand tied to Alibaba. We reported to you guys on this yesterday, with estimates possibly here being in the range of 40 to 50,000 MI308s possibly ordered by Baba. At a midpoint assumption, Leopold Knowles about $15,000 ASP. That's the price of the MI308. Could imply about $675 million in China-specific revenue, likely, though, spread across multiple scenarios. He also gave us a look here at Nvidia. The opportunity is materially larger, he says here, with $7 billion up to $12.5 billion in potential incremental revenue if the China shipments resume. That revenue would equate to about 15 to 30 pennies in non-GAAP EPS for 26. It involves possibly tens of thousands of units initially, with longer-term volumes reaching almost, guys, 500,000 units over time. Not a bad look here, Adair.
I think it's also really worth noting specifically for Nvidia because, of course, as mentioned in the note there, this is materially larger than what we're seeing with AMD. $7 billion to $12.5 billion in revenue, plus the growth Nvidia is already experiencing. We know that Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang has said as of late that if they do get to sell in China, that'll be like a nice surprise, right? They generally assume no China revenue. So the way that this could impact their quarter cannot and should not be understated, I don't think, here. But again, there are still a lot of issues here and question marks with the ongoing tensions between China and the U.S. We had some comments here about potential tariffs being placed on Chinese semiconductors by the U.S. That came up from the U.S. Trade Representative around 9 a.m. today. Then we also, of course, have the Chinese government even allowing their companies to use these chips in the first place. So lots of question marks still, but good luck if it comes to fruition.
Yeah, guys, just recall that back in 2023, China was 20% of NVIDIA's revenue. It is now down to 0, according to Jensen.
There's no question about the potential effect on both their balance sheets, AMD and Nvidia. No question about that. But yesterday we got that Alibaba headline for AMD specifically, and if you bought into that one, then
emotional damage.
We actually had that key. No, that was one of the nastiest. I mean, look, lots of stocks had pullbacks yesterday. AMD's off of that high. This time yesterday, AMD was pressing into the high, pressing into 220, and the first candle on the 15 minutes just dropped at $5, and it never recovered. I mean, it was about as, like, you don't see very many candles like this, where effectively the entire day was the first 15-minute candle going 220 to $15, and then 15 just held the line. It was then 15 to 13.5 the rest of the session. $1.50 range on AMD, less than a percentage point for the whole day outside of that initial move. So that 215, I mean, that stands out obviously. As far as I'm concerned, if we're not getting back above 215, got to be bearish. Like, this is where we settle down after that Alibaba headline, which is supposed to be positive. Now, some of that might have to do with the big rally that we had on Friday. You know, maybe that had just gone too far, and so therefore you weren't going to rally anymore on that headline. So I'm looking at 215 on AMD. The only other chip name on my mind is I said yesterday, like, Intel was one of those, it's been trending down every single day, like stair-stepping down. So the next time it goes into a resistance, like pops into resistance, got to have it. You got 37.5 here. You even have like a 37 level. But those two I'm looking fade, specifically AMD in that 215.
Yeah, we have, it's actually, I just have put a sticky note out right now, so I was just waiting to get that through here. And I actually have AMD. I didn't even realize AMD was going to be on the watch list there, but it's on right here. And I have the short 214 to 215 right there. Very weak pre-market action and can't catch a bid. We're just going to play the weakness right there. So it's out. I'll put this, you can go find it at Trader TV, Sean. Actually, I'll just paste it and put it in there in a second. But yeah, for me, for AMD, it's just there's going to be a short. It's been short all morning. So why not, man? It's only $3 away from here. See if we can get this back up into this area, yesterday's closing price. So I'm going to be shorting this name between 214 and 215. AMD on my mind for the short. Nvidia could be kind of same way, but unfortunately, Nvidia, it's down here. Like I told you, like my charts are not even loading. So, but right down in there, 182 and change right there for Nvidia. So yeah, you know what? My analysis is going to be useless. My charts don't work. So let's go back over the desk.
Zim was up 13% plus in the aftermarket trading yesterday, trading now a little bit above 7% here in the pre-market after the company confirmed it has received multiple proposals from strategic parties as part of its ongoing review of strategic alternatives. Management here indicated the process is now in the advanced stage, which is signaling that outcomes could extend beyond, the exploratory discussions. The review here that we're talking about includes potential sales scenarios, capital allocation changes, and return of capital options. Adara, the CEO here, Eli Glickman, he's involved in some way.
Yes, so this was actually something we already knew about. We heard this reported a while ago, but now Zim actually disclosing they did receive, in fact, a revised proposal from an entity controlled by their CEO, Eli Glickman. This also involves shipping executive Rami Ungar. Basically, the board determining the offer undervalues the company, and so they actually formally rejected the offer. Now, what's interesting here is we also had earlier reports suggesting that Hapag-Lloyd had actually submitted an offer for Zim. Now, if that is true, and if that comes to fruition, we're really going to see some consolidation within the shipping industry, guys.
This is interesting, guys. Analyst saying multiple proposals are in play, and that could lead to a higher acquisition price. What are your thoughts on Zim?
Have a potential to get like multiple proposals in there. It does set it up for like some potential dip buying, and obviously, just because a stock is potentially getting bought, by the time it gets announced, like keep in mind, Zim is up 50% since the beginning of November. So in like a month and a half, it's gone up 50% from here. So in reality, you can sometimes get a situation where a deal comes in and you don't even get, either you don't get much appreciation. Like there was a company yesterday, like CWAN, where by the time the deal got announced, like the rumors have been out there, went another 8% up. So there wasn't much to be had because it was already up like 30-40%. And Zim's kind of made that move. So don't get your hopes up that like premiums 30-40%, you see it all the time. That's not always the case when the stock is already run up into it. But with a couple of people potentially bidding, it does make it somewhat interesting. I'm gonna like Novo as something breaking out and displaying a similar pattern more than Zim today, and that's just based on volume. Zim much less volume, and it's trending down in the pre-market. So let it find a base. Once it does so, that's a little more interesting. When all you have here is Novo's got something with their news. Here, you just have speculation that there could be a deal at an unknown price. So I think in that situation, you're looking for it to catch a bit of a bid, and then it becomes more of like a swing target than anything else over a day trade.
We have a little look here at the imbalance locator. We have Novo, of course, has a buy 1 million shares. And then not much else going on right now, right? I mean, under 200,000, maybe some, I don't know, there's CRM down here as a sell, of course. But yeah, so for me, I just want to say like Tesla right here just bounced off of our post of 485. So I just want to say like that's a level. I mean, maybe it got lower. I'll have to check other charts, of course. But, you know, into this area for Tesla, just to think like we have 10 minutes to go. Those of you that are getting lined up, man, I'm trying to short AMD. I'm trying to go long Tesla. I actually like a short in the TQQs as well. So this could be a trade that eventually builds out for us here on the TQQs. So, you know, shorting this one, I wrote down here 54.50. So it's going to have to get into this area. I think that's possible, right? I mean, 75 cents away from here. So should be an exciting open with only 10 minutes to go. I have like a pretty good headache here, so I'll be talking in this monotone for most of the day. Do I like SMCI at this level? Yeah, good call. Let's have a quick little look at SMCI. I mean, the answer really, I don't really love any AI-related names too much at these levels, but wow, SMCI on the daily chart. Let me pull this down on another charting platform so we can see this just a little bit better. This, of course, is E-Signal. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good question, and I think it's a reasonable level. I mean, I was saying that I don't like too many AI names, but you know, honestly, this name has already gotten beat up, and it's well underneath the 200-period moving average. You don't really want to get involved on things until you start to trend higher and start to break a little bit higher. So I'd like to see a few more higher highs coming in on the daily chart. So like I'd like to take this level out there, $36. And I think if we do that, then you clear out some of this most recent garbage and then get back to the upside. But yeah, as far as like buying, I think you mentioned 25 shares. Like, is that going to be your total position? Because if so, I don't think there's anything wrong with buying, you know, 10 right here at this level. Because if you're really thinking about SMCI, the 52-week low is 25. So you're not even too far away from that right there, and that goes all the way back to the beginning of the year. So yeah, man, I like SMCI here. I think if you're looking at SMCI, maybe buy a bit of them and a bit of Dell maybe, and then that way, you know, you're in the space, and if things work out, you got both of them, and if not, maybe you got one for two. So SMCI and Dell, I think is a good one right there. Yeah, I do have some water here, and I switched over to lemon-based tea as well, so we'll be fine. SMCI right now down 1%, so still. That might be a good one to short today with only 8 minutes to go. So, all right, guys, back over the desk. A couple more names. Oh, only one more. Reddit. Oh, I love Reddit.
Reddit, good look today, Sean. Needham reiterating the buy rating on Reddit and boosting the price target to $300. He elevated the stock to its 2026 top pick, and he's adding it to the firm's conviction buy list that replaces Roku, by the way. The call reflects growing confidence that Reddit's differentiated data and ad products can drive sustained growth beyond, you know, the near term. And here's the deal. So Needham really likes Reddit's 100% human-generated content, critical, guys, for large language models, so it's not recycled or synthetic data. Also, Reddit's generating over $100 million annually just from AI data licensing fees with their partnerships with OpenAI and Google, and analysts expect that to actually double as the deals with Anthropic and Perplexity scale, Adara. So not a bad look here for Reddit.
Also worth noting here, Needham really liking it in the context of other stocks it covers as well, calling Reddit the fastest growing company within the universe of the stocks they cover, specifically citing monetization as opposed to pure growth as the reason they like this. They're talking about a lot of performance ads as well. We know ads in the social media space are companies like Meta and Snapchat as well. It's going to be really important. Needham saying that advertisers get full funnel solutions through this performance ads function of Reddit. So good look here for RDDT, and Needham expecting this will be even better next year.
All right, guys, we're still down 0.2%, but we've definitely put in some support here at $200, trying to work through that 250.
Don't know if today is going to be the day for Reddit, but I like them, and I certainly like the fact that they're key to AI training. I think that's going to be an important aspect of their business. They offer a little something. They have a little something going on that makes them very unique for the training of those models. That said, bust through 240 today. It's already slightly weaker than the market on a low volume day. And as the market's bouncing, it's not really moving. Oh, well, I might not. Okay, it's sort of updating in there, but it's not really moving too far off that low. And it's 240 that it has to break through on the daily to get even a little bit more interesting. So I think you wait for the if you're impatient 50 period, or if you're very patient the 200 period moving average, or a blend of both as a dip buyer. This is one that I want to get into next year. I don't know that I already want to buy it, but certainly a name that I want to get into. I've never been an owner of Reddit. It's a little frothy up here, so I don't necessarily want to be buying it up at tops. Kind of waiting for the next available pullback in Reddit, to be honest with you. And as for, like I said, for the day trade, this is not going to be a day trade. We'll go to Sean, but then we got to talk some crypto, because I think if you looked at what moved yesterday, that's something that we'll definitely get into before we go to the open.
I'm making an orange over here, the orange that Randy gave us a couple days ago, so we'll have some good vitamin.
I forgot about mine.
Have some good vitamin C here. Don't want Obi doing too much double duty. I'll have the orange in a second. Yeah, look, man. I mean, look, 6-8 months ago, I was saying the exact same thing about Reddit. So I'm glad that, I mean, it's not unbelievable that that's moving. I mean, I said I really liked it for the large language models. A lot of people trust Reddit for the information there. They have the moderators and things like that. Yeah, so I think that trade, like I was saying, 6-8 months ago when we finally broke out through there, down at 150, 160, I think it was a really good one. You know, we've had these tops, 270 or so. We're trying to figure out if we want to break above 240, and I think that that's the key there. You're holding the 50-period moving average. We came in there, bounced nicely off the 200, took out the 50, bounced nicely off the 50 again. So yeah, to me, this is very conservative and very constructive, and working higher for Reddit. So yeah, I mean, you know, good upgrade. I think it makes a lot of sense there. And the only thing that I was always worried about with Reddit was sort of the PEs. But I mean, again, remember, it's not, I always have Marvell up here. It is a relatively new name in the market. I mean, its market cap is just 44 billion. It's not even too outrageous for someone to come in and think about even buying them. But their forward PE right here is 68. And their current P 107. So I think for a growth stock, I don't think that's necessarily out of line or anything like that for their valuations. But I think Reddit is, you know, it is a buyout candidate. I just don't know if the FTC or whoever will let someone come in and take these guys out. But yeah, I really like Reddit for all the information that they have. And I don't know if they want to be bought out anyways. Probably good to keep this name a little private. But yeah, with only 4 minutes ago, I was going to call up the imbalances, but you have them. And did anything change? Or?
Not really. I mean, Novo's a buy of 500,000 shares. You got QBTS, D-Wave's a sell of 200,000 shares. So pretty light. Success 170. Hey, Peloton, 150,000 subs.
Oh, okay.
But nothing really big. Which, I mean, 928, maybe we'll check back in and find a little something more. But two things which moved yesterday and have been moving, let's be real, Bitcoin's been moving sometimes a little bit more violently than the market, and certainly we'll talk about metals in a quick little second that also have. But if we looked at, I keep trying to get rid of this and then accidentally open that pop-up there. You know, we've been trending down on Bitcoin, and yesterday in the afternoon, it really fell off when it lost the 88,000 level, which is turning into resistance. Like we're all of a sudden just sort of consolidating under 88,000. And as long as that's the case, then I want to be shorting pops. Now, obviously, we didn't quite we got close enough that probably should have had that top at 51.5. But if you work down, I like 50.60 on IBIT. That's if we break 88,000. If we never break 88,000 and we just consolidate early, then I want to try to get involved. And then when it trends like yesterday, the second it starts making lower highs on the 15-minute, then I'm jumping in as well. Maybe it'll be VWAP, maybe it'll just be playing off of those lower highs. But the trend has been weakness in IBIT, even if you have to be a little patient with it in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the day. Well, pretty much everything you've had to be. But then after that point, it shows itself when it puts in that lower high, and then the structure becomes a little bit more clear. So I'm looking bearish in IBIT. And then if we're talking about the metals, yeah, silver pull back into prior high. The frustrating thing about silver is it didn't break the trend until 2:30 yesterday. It was all slightly down and just couldn't really break that trend. So you waited all day for it to break a trend line, and it didn't do so till the afternoon show. So any dip, either wait forever all day for the perfect setup where it breaks the trend, or wait for it to pull back into prior high, which is about $1 away. So a lot of patience for that for silver. But yeah, I'll be shorting Bitcoin at some point today. If it's 50.60 and IBIT, great. If not, if it never gets there, I got to find my way into the trend.
All right, only a minute and a half left before we open. All right, so Tesla, just to get you guys going with what I'm looking at right here. Tesla is on the comeback right now, and so that's nice. So we had that nice little bottom created there around that 485, which is the post that we had up. That's yesterday's low. So looking to see if Tesla can bounce off that. We're looking long. The only name we're looking long today, Tesla, for early on anyways. We're looking short AMD, so that if we can get up to 214, we'll see if we do like that. 214 to 215. We're looking for Netflix. We didn't really talk about Netflix there today other than earlier on. That low is 92.50. We'll see if we can get down about $1. We'll try that. Yesterday we tried Netflix, or maybe was it yesterday? I think it was $93. It broke right there at the end of the day. Yeah, I guess we must have tried it because yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was the day before. What day is today? No, it must have been yesterday. Today's only Tuesday. So yeah, Netflix down there at $93. Anyways, I like that level, but let's just see about a little bit lower with only 15 seconds left. And then the TQQs, see if we can get a short on the Nasdaq around yesterday's closing price as well. And here we go. The opening bell is now on. So good luck to everybody here today. And as per usual, I'm just waiting. I think it's brought to you by today, Beta Pro by Global X. So thank you to them for their continued sponsorship. And here we go. After an expected GDP number, just a little bit higher, we'll see if the market can now appreciate, which it's doing right now big time. What a move right there in the Nasdaq, right off the open, man, right to VWAP. This goes. I obviously question my lines right now because the charting, but there goes TQQs, probably Tesla's. Is it 500 yet? And 492 right there. Boom. Nailed that bottom, but wasn't going to take that in the pre-market anyways. And then AMD probably motoring as well, right up to our short levels. So everything's starting to come through right now to the long side. Congratulations, everybody bought those dips, but the trading is just getting started. So let's wait to see what winds up happening here. 415, maybe we'll short on AMD, but I'm not going to take this right now, man. This just broke higher through 214.
I'll tell you what did not bounce with the market right there. Bitcoin went literally nowhere, still at 87.6 and looking incredibly weak. Novo Nordisk was making some moves in the, well, obviously gapped up. It is bouncing. I can trust this VWAP because it looks perfectly fine to me. Broke the highs and immediately coming right back in. So just want to be careful. The Nasdaq shot green and right in instantly into overnight highs.
Oh yeah.
We're right into overnight highs. And that was also resistance the day before. So it feels like that could be a crazy, crazy thing to want to chase up there. So I'm not chasing this move. No way, no how. I got eyes on Novo. The fact that Bitcoin is not moving, that'll make me like the short a little bit better, to be honest with you. Is IBIT not going anywhere. AMD almost got to 15 even.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're short AMD. So this is the only trade that I have on right now.
It did get there.
It's right at this level. Looks like it's going to break. The spread is like 30. There it goes. Oh no, went downside. We just got to fill downside. I was going to say the spread right now is quite large on AMD. So it's 20 cents. Like how often do we see that? So we just take a bid there. So we're short AMD. Obviously, it's a posted level that we had up there on our note. So let's wait to see what happens here. Now short AMD, a decent sized position for your boy over here. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye here on JT AI. This company is called Jet AI. They had some news this morning saying they signed a term sheet to form a joint venture with QQ Express to develop a 50 MW data center campus on roughly 20 acres in Nevada. IONQ also on watch finalizing a deal with South Korea's Kitsi to develop a 100 qubit Tempo 100 system. So IONQ balancing here, finalizing this deal with a South Korean entity. Back to you.
214. So we put on a decent sized position there. It came right into our level. So I'm already out of a third of AMD.
Yeah, I just took some out there as well at 214.5. 213.5 is going to be the target for myself. So it got to 15. That was all afternoon where it resisted. VWAP's going to be good on this chart as well. Just for anyone out there, if you're looking at our charts, or at least I can tell you specifically for my charts, a few of them are going to have some missing data, and the volume weighted average price will be way off. I've already seen a couple where it's a complete mess, but this one looks good. So I'm looking at 213.5 for an exit as the market went right to that overnight high and turned around on an absolute dime. You had Tesla at 292. That's real. This wick is real. This is one where VWAP is wrong. Right back into 492, and then right back into 488. So that's going absolutely ham as we speak. AMD just, there's that top. As soon as we were getting out at 214.5, 214 or 40 actually. It's now breaking out that top, but I'm throwing my stop at that prior high, and I'm not looking back as AMD just blasts to the upside. In the same moment that I showed you guys Tesla breaking down, AMD decides it wants to break up. So that's the kind of market we're in. Still going to be looking at that Bitcoin short. I was wanting to short pops in Bitcoin, but it is not popping at all in that monster candle. Okay, well, you can have decoupling works both ways. That's the thing. You want Bitcoin to decouple, but sometimes it's not necessarily a positive thing when the market is strong early on.
All right, man. Yeah, we actually did fine on AMD. We have a couple outs down there, and then eventually it broke. So we lose 25 cents on that one, but we did take more, obviously, than 25 cents a couple times. And we have some 214.50s, 214.15s right there. But I do have another position right now, and it's just, they're all just coming in, and I don't necessarily want to be in so early. So we're just going to wait to see what winds up happening, but we're going to go short on the market right here. It does pop into the level, and we posted it up on the note. So I want to always take them, but it's just a matter of what timing is like right there. So here we go on the TQQs, 54.50 area. We'll have to wait to see what Tesla's doing. I assume that that's breaking higher. So it's in that area right now. We did, no, what was it? It was 491, 492. I don't know what it is now.
It's at 88.
Okay, so it's breaking lower. Okay, good. So there it goes. So there goes the TQs. Let's see what that winds up doing right now. Hopefully the short can print for this, but we're going to get out if it breaks through the highs again. So just trying this. We tried this yesterday on the long, and it didn't work out for us. So we had to be a little bit more patient. So yeah, we're still in it right now. We'll wait to see if we get a little bit more short against that recent local high right there for the Nasdaq. Yeah, good idea getting out of AMD as that's really starting to rip up a little bit there. We had Netflix 92.50, and then the TQQs and Tesla. So yeah, Tesla there. I mean, this is exactly what it did yesterday. We said that this is the exact same move, and then we fell down $12. So 92, so that would put us into 480. So this move, don't be too surprised. This is what Tesla did yesterday, and then around 950. It completely dropped in. This day it happens a little earlier on that drop, but there's that huge move up, and then there's the drop right back in. Yesterday we bought this sort of dip into the 50 period. We did not do that here today. So I'm just going to be short the market until it breaks out the top, which potentially it's trying to do soon. Right here, 54. I'll get a little bit more here at 49s, which is right now. And now we just wait, man. We're waiting for that top to break. And look, if the market gets going, the market gets going. I mean, I think this is well worth a shot right here. It's 936. A lot of the volume is going to come in early, and that's what's happening now. So let's see if and when this dissipates, if the market does fall back.
What's dropping? Silver is dropping.
Silver, okay.
All the way, SLV, I should say. You know what? Some people are like, yeah, that's not spot silver. Okay, fine. It's SLV, the ETF. That's what I'm watching. But it's almost all the way back into yesterday's highs. As the market rages higher, this is trying to pull back. So this, 62.8 is going to be the level we're looking for. Am I getting IBIT? All right, I'm like a couple of cents away here on IBIT. Also grab that one to the south side. So looking for a bounce off prior lows, but this is falling like an absolute rock as we speak. So I guess it's a little bit of a rotation again. Could be what's happening here as some of the metals looking weak and the market looking strong. IBIT just lost VWAP. It's in a consolidation, so I'll short the consolidation to the prior high. That's simple. This is not, it's not going up with the market. So if it doesn't go up with the market, then well, there's only two directions it can go. It can either not move, it's a possibility today, or we can head to the downside on Bitcoin, which looks like it's going to be the case. Tesla's still kind of diddling all over the place, but look at Alphabet.
Yeah.
Alphabet going, that's orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, what the heck? I'm not used to smelling orange in the morning. But no, Alphabet looking incredibly strong. That's what's seemingly leading the market that isn't the chip name. I look up, AMD's still at 216, so that 15 level is come and gone. Oh, give me a break, IBIT. Bitcoin is not showing any signs of a bounce. I don't want to be chasing this move. Let me go look at BMNR here, because that's always another something that you can have if we're headed to the downside. And BMNR is going to be one of the charts that I have no data on. So apologies there. Like
if you haven't called it up, it's no.
Oh, that's right. Like if I haven't looked at a stock yet, it's going to be an issue. So BMNR, yeah, sorry about that chart, guys. It's got no data on it, but it is at the lows and down 4% as well.
All right, we're not going to apologize too much for this market because it's kind of just doing what we sort of thought it may do today, just drift around a little bit. We are now got a decent trade on here as we get out now of 10% of our Qs. We're going to wait for 54.25 as well. Just play off this 200 period moving average right there. If it does drop into that, we'll take another 10% out, and then we'll see if we can, make a little bit of money here on the short today. But it might be range bound, and honestly, if it is, I mean, here, these charts today, I don't know, but here's what the TQs look like, so far here this morning on a 5-minute chart. So it's just, so what I was saying by range bound, I mean, it could take out the top, and if it does, we're out of there. I mean, I'm not going to hold it all the way up into yesterday's top, just because if we drift higher, I may use this level to short again if it does, manage to break through that top. But now it's 940, so I feel like we have enough data in right now. The market's definitely not falling back in, but if it does, like, there's VWAP. So this is where we're trying to get out, 54.25, sorry. But if it does fall back in and it is a little range bound-ish, then we should come back into 54. So that's kind of where I feel like the risk to reward on this trade is very much in my favor. So this is why we're taking that. So hopefully it does make that move down. And hey, if it takes out the top, it takes out the top. Like yesterday we had a downside drift, right? I mean, if this is the Qs, and we just talked about it right now, we did have a move down, came back up, and then right around this time, around 950 is when basically the whole market pretty much, and look, today's not yesterday, so the whole market kind of just drifted lower, and we never even saw the sort of tops that potentially we just put in right now. So I just think it's worth the risk. I mean, if this gets blown out to the top side again, then fine, but I'm trading, because of where the stock is right now, I have like that 4 or 5 units that I want to have on this, so it's fine. I have about double the shares I had in AMD on this play right now, so looking for it to work out. But again, with that many units, you do have to have a tighter stop, so I'm going to use the top of the day. So if we break through 54.60 or so, then we're going to get out of that one. But yeah, so far so good, just trying to hold on to this short. So yeah, that's what we're doing right there. And we can look at some other names, HIHO, things like that as we continue to go.
Oh, silver is still making moves. Well, it's trying to make a little bit of a bounce. Whoa, that was a heck of a reversal. So I was trying, look at the topping tail candles in AMD. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like 3 in a row topping tails. It goes right back underneath that prior support level of 215, or resistance level of 215, I should say. And then an instant reversal. Oh, that's that 214 bottom. That's where the buyer is, and he's still there. So I want to be able to get that. I finally got into IBIT as it bounced higher. And that's frustrating, because I have called up silver, and yet one of my silver charts is not participating. So, oh, this one's fine. Silver is still heading lower, right back into this bottom at 62.8 on SLV. So I'm just looking for a higher low. If it can hold a higher low, going to try to jump into that one for the long side of the trade. So IBIT, we're finally into IBIT. And then AMD, jump back in effectively at the same place. But the buyers, remember yesterday's afternoon range? It spent 2.5 hours essentially in a $1.50 range here. 215.5 to 214. So I expect that range is going to hold. I don't expect, well, my first look is that range will hold. For Bitcoin, I'm looking trend down. So we're short at VWAP. We'll give it to the prior bar high here, which is like 49.75, and then just look for this to be a short all day like it was yesterday. If it breaks that high, then I get out and look for a re-entry. But I'm only looking one direction in Bitcoin for now.
Yeah, I like that AMD short there. We should have probably stayed with that instead of gone over to the futures, but we're happy with the futures trade. But okay, there goes, again, like my chart's not working for HIHO, but up to 138 right now in trying to get a little bit higher onto that one. Let's just go back over quickly.
Mine is, I have data for high.
Yeah, because I know, because I reset my computer, which is stupid. My platform there, 488, 487 now coming into play there for Tesla. So we'll wait to see where that one winds up going right now. So we've covered up our whole loss on AMD with this Qs trade right now. So, we'll be flat right now on the day. But yeah, waiting out for Tesla. And we wrote down 480. I mean, the range that we put down for Tesla was 485 to 487. So we're right in that range right now. We just actually tipped down. Like, I'm going to be pissed off again probably, but we'll wait to see what winds up happening, because I'm still short the Nasdaq. So I don't necessarily need to go necessarily long on Tesla. But that was 485.50 bottom. So like, if we're following our notes again, we should have taken that trade, but we're not there yet. I'm trying to let this market settle down a little bit, and let's just wait to see. I'm not sure this Tesla trade is going to work out. I mean, nice move up to 492 and then the fade back in. So let's just, if you're going to go long, I would say there's still some chances that it does revisit, obviously down about another buck 50 or so into the day's low of 485. And you know, the only reason I like the trade because we bounced clean off there yesterday, and then you had like your $10 or so right back to the upside, where we looked at 500 again and got to 497 before falling back there right at the end of the day, like collapsing all over itself. So, all right, AMD not doing much there. TQ's not doing much. Tesla, maybe the one that's doing everything. And then Bitcoin, like 87.4. Yeah, maybe energy's going.
XOM's up, and that's, you know what, I haven't looked at that stock either, so unfortunately it's going to be missing data, but it is up and it is breaking out a little bit here. So you are seeing energy show some signs of strength. This is XOM, good day yesterday. You want to look to things that were strong the day before sometimes if you're looking for volatility or movement. One of those names for me, CCL, that's a false breakout. So I don't like that initial setup when you fail to breakout. So it has to hold 32 on the way back in. So I'll allow this to retest 32, but that's about it. It doesn't look like a continuation play to me. Either it's going to cleanly hold above the prior close, and then you just look for the trend, or it's going to have to bounce off some kind of a support level. But CCL, as strong as it was yesterday, distinctly different in heading in the other direction. I've just noted a couple of things. One, AMD, or Intel's weaker than AMD by a lot. So this is the AMD move. Secondary move, good. Intel's move, off of the open, all the way back to the bottom on that initial push. So it's percentage-wise, it's about the same, but effectively, it looks a little bit weaker to me, for sure. Jeremy, why did you buy more IBIT? I'm short on IBIT, Jeremy. So I'm short on IBIT. Looking to be short pretty much in front of the volume-weighted average price. Nibbled in at 59, added pretty much right at VWAP. I have an offer when it wicked the high here at 65, but seeing as that's probably not going to fill, I'm just going to short these lower highs on IBIT. My plan of action is to be net short this. You saw this in spades yesterday, how IBIT, or Bitcoin I should say, was just much weaker than everything else in the market. It trended down the whole day, even when the Nasdaq was going up. Bitcoin was just trending down. So you know, that's what we're looking for today. But no, I'm not. I didn't add to it long. I've only been short.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's. I don't know what's going to be the right play there today, but I do know that we did nail AMD and just got out of it. There it goes all the way to the downside right now, breaking through 214. So, you know, the levels, I put it back at 215.50, but we didn't get filled there. And instead, we're just waiting for the Nasdaq to take out the top. Like, we have the short of the day, but not in it. So, all right, TQQ AMD Netflix. Let's go have a quick look at Netflix right now and see what they're up to. All right, we had like 92.50 area, and I just put that down there because it was the low. So, you know, yesterday we got into 92.99. That 92.50 is like the ultimate. I just was thinking that if it gets into those areas, we might want to start looking and maybe tapping out if and when Netflix gets into that motion. But it's not looking like it wants to do it right now. NFLX, they got to get it on a different chart, guys, because honestly, this is starting to become a problem. All right, here's our 30-minute chart for Netflix. And so down into here, that's 92.50. It goes all the way back to the 10th. So, you know, good little level there for Netflix. The real runner today is Alphabet. I mean, Alphabet is absolutely motoring to the upside. Wow, good for you, Alphabet. I mean, this is definitely helping the Nasdaq stay afloat today. That is for sure. Oh yeah, I haven't looked at this yet today. So you can't see exactly how epic. That's okay, I have it right here. This is what Google looks like right now. Bang! This is a 5-minute chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and still extending. We're just getting another bump higher here into Google. Now 314 and change, and wow, what a name there. Daryl, what was the news on Google? I know there was some data center.
They made a acquisition.
Yeah,
but
this acquisition was from 11 a.m. yesterday. It's right on the watch list because there wasn't too much to talk about. There's no other news that I have seen.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it wasn't really even on my radar there today. And there it goes, man. And looking to see maybe well, it's already above, so 316, well, it's not above, but this is where we're looking right here, 316, 315 for an area potentially where this thing could stop. I don't know if it's going to or not, but into that area could be something there. As we get a little bit of movement today, and I don't know if we were expecting it on Google like that, so nice aggressive move. It looks like we are moments away here from taking this stop out on the market. I don't even know.
Amazon's also flying, by the way.
Okay, yeah, that would be why. I mean, the
Amazon's up
Nasdaq is super hot.
Yeah, Amazon's up 1.4 here.
Just
going to double check some of these. We're going to talk about the Mag 7 names here. Apple was getting shredded, but bounced off to 69.5 and right back up to some highs. But it's not breaking out the way the others are. Meta, just to go through.
I went back
some
in.
of these
I don't know.
names. Okay, well, I have every single Mag 7 name I got data on except for Meta. Again, it is what it is. You guys have already sort of seen that issue take hold. But Tesla had not been participating. It's now trying to break out. So this is starting to look a little bit stronger. I have my eyes on Intel just because it's weaker than the rest of the market. Like if I'm thinking thinking something short, this is underneath VWAP, looking for this to press. And they can lose the volume weighted average price here. Don't just bust through and then I'm standing in front of a moving freight train. It's that or silver, which is still trying to form bottom. It's filled the gap. That's a real wick from what I could tell. I have it on multiple charts that we actually had a wick bottom into the prior high on SLV, and it's trying to put in a higher, I guess it'll be a nice little higher low is what I'm looking for. That's the term I'm looking for on SLV at about 63 even. So I'm likely to take my first shot if this second bar closes above.
All right, I did, it looks like, I don't know if it's going to be a wick top or not, but I just thought that right there, we touched out a little bit at 63s, 64s. So I did get back in, well, I didn't get out of it all, but I did get back into some more there. I didn't get out of it all, but I did buy some more in when I saw that it looked like potentially we started to move the other way. And part of that was honestly, Google just got faded a little bit. Right as soon as we got punched out, some of the names that had got us up here started to fall back in. So I'm not just trading this all blind. Like I'm looking, I have other stocks up on my screen over here to see what exactly is going on in the markets. AMD is still at that 214 and change. Okay, here we go. Now we're starting to get back to reality here, hopefully a little bit with this play. So
back to life,
back to life, back to reality, yeah. So a couple outs there again on the TQs. Looks like we might have got stopped out near the top, hopefully near the top of that level, which is why we got back in. 112 right now for Disney. Wow, I mean, I have to just apologize. Like the charts, basically, if you haven't called it up, it's not going to be good for us. I just wanted to look at Disney because I thought it was a little bit up, but again, not accurate there. Pretty much doing nothing. Yesterday, Disney, like this is why I was looking to make a move here early on the stocks, because yesterday, like we had some big moves in the first 30 minutes and then it kind of just fizzled out the rest of the day, right? So this is just one example here with Disney. And then I wanted to look at Apple at 270, right? That was going to be another play here today. So here's Apple at 270. It hits it and then just now ripping back to the upside. So this is not going to help out that short position. But we did get some more covers there in the 40s, low 40s. We got 42s right there on our TQQ. So right into VWAP again. So far so good on that one. We'll make the money back a little bit there, but we did get stopped out our first tranche of that play. And then the only other play that we had today, which I shouldn't have held it really. I had an appropriate amount of shares to not hold. Like if we go all the way up there, I'm losing too much. So yeah, anyways, nice pullback now for advanced micro devices. We'll have to wait to see. I do have an offer still around 215.50 if that does pull in. But other than that, man, yeah, Google new high days. Someone just put their Professor Love.
I see a lot of names getting thrown in the chat. Thankfully, I had called out DJT earlier this morning, so I can't show you the chart. So we're blind luck on that one because I wasn't even planning on trading it. But DJT recovering up 2%, which, trust me, is not a heck of a lot compared to what happened yesterday. This got rinsed. I don't think many people were paying attention to DJT dropping $3 yesterday from 17 to 14. Well, it's bouncing back $1 as we speak. Can it hold on? We'll see. My gut is to actually go pay for locates because I'm pretty bearish on this DJT. Like once it puts in a temporary top, I'm usually thinking short said pops. But up 2%, lots of volume, so it's definitely in play and in play names on a holiday shortened week. That's what you want to work into. Crazy wick initially on Intel. I just like it a bit better because it was weaker on that push down than AMD was. So I'd rather fight, when the market's strong, I'd rather fight the weaker name, or just short the weaker name. Fight's not the right term. So shorting this under VWAP, just like looking to do continuously on IBIT. So the market trying to top out a bit here. There was that HIHO, which I can pull. I have some data on this one to be able to tell you it's breaking the top right now, but I am missing a little bit of pre-market data. So HIHO, what is the name of this thing again?
Highway.
Highway something, yeah, Highway Holdings. They did have an expansion deal. They're making an acquisition of some German company for an expansion. That's why they're up 88% and still going higher. Pun absolutely intended with that one. So some small cappers moving around. The market kind of holding flat as we speak. Tesla's literally doing nothing. So I'm kind of glad I'm not paying too much attention to it. Tesla, $2 or $3 range back and forth, and that's about it.
I was going to say, I should have actually, Tesla's actually went right into 485 twice, and then back up to 490. So it's kind of like that's the range. Like I wrote down 487 to 485, and so far that's held. So I'm not in it, but it's good news that at least it's holding. So we can, hopefully have a look at this again. I mean, right now we're making bank on the futures trade, which is so far so good. So we'll get back to that in a couple seconds. But for right now, yeah, Tesla was a great trade right into there. As I said, man, we were watching this. We did get. I mean, it's like I'm always getting taken out, like, and then it's just tanks or something like that happens. And so there it is, man. Here's a big move. We are now net positive. I hate it when that happens because, like, I gave my stop. I punched back in. We're lucky enough to, not have to. Yes, I mean, let's go. Finally, there's the big move right here. So a nice move down there on the TQs. We just get the 200 period moving average. So let's see if this can dump down here at 10 a.m. We do have numbers coming out now. We have CB consumer confidence for December at 10, and then Richmond Fed composite index. So we have some numbers coming out at 10 o'clock. A good out there at the 200 period moving average.
Now, we've also got news in Canada for our sophisticated traders watching. Beta Pro by Globex, Canada's largest provider of leveraged and inverse leverage ETFs, has just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs. You've got included there 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60. You've got U.S. Treasuries, you've got semiconductors, and on top of that, they got a special fee rebate where management fees are going down to just 65 basis points till end of the year, December 31st, everybody. On top of this as well, currency hedging, so that you can get more pure performance and exposure. So if you're a tactical, sophisticated trader and you want to amplify your performance, then check out betapro.ca 3x daily. Scan the QR code you see out in front of you. I want to thank them for their continued sponsorship. As the market is heading lower. So I'm going to get a bid at low of day on Intel. That's heading to the downside. Obviously, AMD is going to be going as well. Bitcoin just lost 87,000. Oh. Remember, 85,000 on Bitcoin, I believe, I think that was support level, but this is essentially the target. So I'm going to throw my trail in because it goes VWAP and pulls right back into this 49.4 areas, or 49.14. So this was a move to look to support here, but you're not even supporting it. So I'm going to throw a trailing stop on that bad boy. We are now market red. Well, sorry, the Nasdaq is red. The ES is technically still green, but it's not going to be green for long.
Thank you so much, Excel Cart. I mean, I'm glad you guys did that. Thank you to Tyra Millionaire or whatever in the chat as well, man. You flipped over, went short. There, you made your goal, so that's important, man. That's what you need to do. So congratulations on that, and then thank you for the love on this call as well. But honestly, we didn't make any money on it. But we are now in the Greensville, obviously, with our short here on the Nasdaq. So yeah, man, we had that short call. I only had a few things written down, so just thank you everybody for. Here, I'll get rid of that now. Clear it. All right. Yeah, this is just I put this out every day. It's very high tech. Stuff. It's Tesla. We wrote down that one for, and just a little explanation if you guys are interested in reading it, but there's Tesla long in that area. There's the TQ short. That's what the price we have, and right now it's 30 cents. There's our AMD short to 214 to 215. The problem is it went to 216.50, so we got stopped out there, and then 92.50 or so on Netflix is what we'll look at there if that does wind up coming in. But there's AMD. Like I said, we wrote down 214 to 215. And, it gets into 216 and change. So I punch out immediately at 215, so to not worry about it, and I'm not worried about it. And that allowed me to flip over and do this. So far, so good there. Obviously, wishing we didn't have that out, but what are we gonna do? Nice move to the downside right now in the market. So now we'll have to figure out, yes, Dragon Slayer, it stopped me out right there. I told you I got my stop out, and then I just punched in the same amount of shares as we wicked the top about 2 or 3 times. And I just was like, you know what, if I get back in now and I just sort of tick the top, it's a 5-cent risk. So I could have been 0 for 2 on it, that is for sure, but it turned out to be the right call, so we hold the short. And again, when you do our job, it's like sometimes 1 or 2 ticks, you get out and then the trade is still valid, so you kind of get back in. Oh, I didn't call up Palantir yet today, so hard for me to give an opinion on this one as I wanted to look at it, but Palantir kind of does. See, it's like Palantir does the same type of thing here, right? Where it goes all the way up, and then if you're still like this 195 or so short, then you do get stopped out there, but then you can get back in, right, on that same level, because you might have been thinking right into here 195 short, bye-bye, let's go Qs. Oh man, that AMD, we could be rich. But right into there 195 in change, already rich, thank you to my family, but right into there, when you have healthy kids and wife and everything like that, that's really all that matters. But right in there, 195.07, nice move to the downside right now for Palantir. So I was just gonna say, that's part of getting taken out. Sometimes if you're short in the first couple minutes and the market is ripping, you don't want to, you want to get out in case sort of total anarchy comes in and the market just rips your face off. But yeah, bad out for sure. Here to admit that on AMD. Not a bad out.
There's a difference between a bad
out. Bad out is the wrong term. It was just bad positioning. I could have been shorter around 216, but it filled out the level, and we're happy doing what we did. All right, the number's now out. Let's go to the desk with the Dara.
Lower than expected CB consumer confidence, 89.1, below estimates of 91, and also just above here the previous print of 88.7. So again, lower than expected CB consumer confidence. Richmond Fed not seeing this print yet, and usually it actually comes out early. If I see anything there, I'll let you know. But again, CB consumer confidence, the bigger print of these two, lower than expected, 89.1 versus 91 expected. This comes on the heels too of much stronger than expected GDP data for Q3. It is also worth noting here, U.S. President Donald Trump already weighed in on said GDP data. He basically took credit here, saying the tariffs are, quote, responsible for that growth in the U.S. economy. Now, a lot of what was bringing up this market, specifically on the tech side, is going to be names like Nvidia, specifically also AMD. We know both these names got a positive note from Raymond James with regards to how they're being allowed to sell in China could impact their revenue. But I want to talk here about some other not specifically big tech plays. Novo Nordisk had a really nice start to the day, up 7% initially pre-market here after getting U.S. FDA approval for its Wegovy pill. Eli Lilly, a competitor, actually also trading higher on this news. So nice look for the weight loss drug names. I want to talk about ServiceNow because it's notably weak. It's down more than 1% right now in a market that has generally been pretty strong to start the day. They announced that they're going to be acquiring Armis, which is a cybersecurity startup, for $7.75 billion in cash. That deal is set to close around apparently before the end of next year. So before the end of 2026, we will get a close for this deal. Before we send you back to Neil and Sean for more trading, we're going to take a moment to thank Origenics. Millions of concussions, but zero approved therapies. Origenics, trading on the NYSE's OGEN, is advancing a new standard with its intranasal brain-first approach to concussion treatment. With an $8.9 billion market on the horizon, Origenics is positioned to drive what comes next. So see what's ahead. Book a meeting today. Make sure to like and subscribe as we send you back over to Sean and Neil. See you.
Very much there, Darren. As the market does not bounce, there is a bounce happening, oddly enough in Bitcoin because, logic, right? The market was heading to the upside and Bitcoin was going down. Now the market's pulling back and Bitcoin has bounced. Now, obviously, it's going to end up bouncing off. So we filled in the gap. We pulled back into this area down around 49, let's call it. But effectively, it's 86 change here on Bitcoin. If we get back into VWAP, that's for sure 49.5 where I want to be reloading. But this entire zone here underneath 88K from 87 to 88, that could be worth it. So I'm just going to be eyeballing this for, if it doesn't get to VWAP, look for some kind of a topping tail or a rounded bottom, something like that, because I want to stay with the net short plan. We haven't broken low of the day on Intel yet, but that is, I think, obviously coming as that continues to go lower. As far as target here, I think this one's a little bit simple. Just go back a couple of sessions, our low at about 35.6 on Intel. So it's got some ways to go. Like, you still have about 1.5% before I think this one gets to an absolute bottom. The market, again, just got red. So all shorts have worked. I mean, I was in AMD as well. It didn't work initially, and now it's going to be breaking those lows. So I was able to get it back on the second short. We pivoted to, obviously I like Bitcoin, so I wanted to be in Bitcoin as well. Silver, if you're looking at the metals, well, this is not a case where you're finding strength. There has still not been a single green candle here for silver. So you know what, sometimes the best trade you can make is to not make a trade or not force it. Because again, there has not been a green candle in silver. There has not been any kind of support level forming. I think now waiting for like a 62 or something is going to be the way to go. Just be patient with it. Like, it's spent all day long going down before eventually bouncing at 230. So it has to be willing to be patient and not in too early. This is falling like a rock. You might think metal strength on market weakness. Not today. It's like an everything pullback. And that's just not silver. Like, you've got GLD doesn't have a green candle either. Gold doesn't have a green tick out there at all. So yeah, if you're looking for longs, you just got to be very, very patient with it.
We ain't looking for longs over here. I still can't believe like that AMD we're out of that, but that's okay. All right, man, the futures are here. So there's the cash cow there. So yeah, finally starting to print out a little bit here on the Nasdaq. So downside. And we had sort of said that, you know, where we had thought this could go would be back. If it was going to be range bound, this was roughly the area. So I'm bidding 91. There we go. Did we get that? No, we did not. We're still bidding 91s. Hopefully that does fill. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so we get some 91s there. And now it looks like it's just how much lower can we go on the Nasdaq? So that's a good question, Sean. So let's have a quick little look here. Yeah, just, you know, yesterday's top, sort of where we had come from, is 53.60. I mean, I could see us getting into those levels. And then, you know, barring any sort of bad news, I guess the market doesn't like the number there, but it is a downside push for now. So here we go on the TQQs. You know, we nailed the top. I mean, it's exactly the levels that we wrote down, man. We wrote down 54.50. So we did get stopped out as we took a 10 cents there hit, but there it comes right back into the downside. So right now, just so you guys know, like, what we lost on AMD is literally a fraction now of what we're doing on this Nasdaq trade. So sometimes you have to be, you know, in the game to be in the game, and it's too bad though. Like, we did get stopped out right there. Tesla's probably broke below our 485. Oh no! Oh wow! Just bounces right off of our level again. Wow, this is going to be the widowmaker for me, because I'm probably going to get in there now, because it's like now this is like 3 or 4 times that we've trusted that level would hold, and we haven't been on it. So the next time we're in it, maybe it breaks. But I'm just going to stay short the Nasdaq here and watch out for this name. But there it is, man. That's back-to-back jacks. Like, this is what we wrote down today, man. We wrote down Tesla 485 to 47 long. That's now hit a couple times. The TQQ short area was bang, right on. The AMD short was good, but it did blow up against us about $1. We got out we lost 25 cents on it, but it does go a little bit higher, and then we'll have to look for Netflix lows in and around 92.50. But yeah, so far so good there, and it was really AMD to the downside. I'm assuming Nvidia too has gone. No, actually,
not really. So
I don't know. Again, like, I just picked AMD because I didn't even realize it was on our rundown. I looked at it. It was weak in the pre-market, so I was like, okay, AMD, you're going to be the one that I choose to go short, because we knew we wanted short of the market. Really like Marvell though today. Not today, but just in general, like Marvell. So they're up on this move. And I'm just going to take a little bit more out on the Qs. Like, again, if we think it's going to be range bound, guys, today, the best thing to do would be to play the range. So right there, we did make a low coming in there. We're now trying to bounce off of that a little bit. So I could see us start to slightly extend a little bit into the high side of this trade right now. So I'm getting close to punching out those 03s, but I am bidding 97s, hoping to get those instead. We do not. So now we'll bid 03 and get those right now. So get a little bit out there at 03, wait for those 97s. But yeah, a little bit of a breakdown early. I'm out of just over half right now of this trade. So let's see if it breaks down a little bit more. I'll still keep that 97 bid. Hopefully that fills and we get a little bit of both there. If we get an 03 and a 97, it's just like taking it out at the O's. So we're still bidding. We're still bidding. I think I need to bid on something that will fill me. So I might have to switch the gateway there. I think I'm on Nasdaq right now. But all right, let's go back over.
It's primary.
Yeah, let's see. You're short Intel there. Intel's been, I mean, glad we were able to get out of that one near that $40 marker.
It's been an absolute,
like that stuff.
But you know what though, like it more than doubled up from when the administration or the government, whatever, the government took a stake in it. So anybody should be happy with Intel's performance from that $19 low. I'm looking at Novo. Like this is one of the only things that, well, they've only traded 3 names, but those were all the 3 names they were looking to trade. The other one was actually Novo Nordisk, but it hasn't pulled back to break lower to get to that 51 for a gap fill. It's holding the range, the opening range bottom. So if it can do that, make another bounce here somewhere higher and look for just some kind of a trend revert, this would be the only place I'd be looking for a potential long. Well, it was the only one that was in the plan of action anyways. Bitcoin, it was so close to getting to VWAP. IBIT, I should say, was so close to getting to VWAP, and then just a little quick 25-cent plunge before it got there. But it's still trending up from those lows. Looking for 49.5 there. We're still in Intel, same thing going. But if you look at what happened in Google, remember how strong Google was? Under VWAP. Like it's not even holding. It is still above yesterday's highs, so in theory, like there's still some strength going on there. And then the other Mag 7 name worth watching, Amazon, arguably even better, it's also above yesterday's highs. So you're still seeing support, well, prior resistance turning into support or well above on some of these Mag 7 names, and that could lead, at least for some reasonable strength, I guess, in the overall market. But right now I'm looking for that Novo. On the back of this GLP pill, I guess approval, it's looking 9% up, just put in a higher low, broke this downtrend, so I'm gonna jump in here, give it to the prior bar, and shout out to, thank you, the Trader Sam. Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad from Puerto Rico. Thank you so much. Appreciate the super chat, and Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. Still got a couple of days to go. Santa Claus rally probably not happening right now, that's for sure.
No, that is for sure. And I wasn't here on Friday, and I wasn't here on Friday, but on Thursday I said, happy Friday. I hope everybody gets out of their Carvana on that day. So I really hope that someone at least took that advice right there for Carvana. So I remember talking about that on Thursday, and kind of was like a little bit of tongue-in-cheek action there, but I did mean it when I said it, that that run up there into the S&P right now, yeah, there's the flop on Carvana. So I would say, like, you could take your 15% or so, and think about maybe getting out if you wanted to on Carvana, but that was just the swing short that I was talking about on Thursday. So if you did take that, man, that was 470 down there to 425. So Merry Christmas to you guys on that trade as well. So that was a good one there. Oh, good. Top VoIP made a play there. So good job by you. I'll put that in the chat so people can see. Get into the chat, guys. This is what we're talking about every single time. So you guys can, yeah, I don't know, it's moving too fast for me. So we can see some of those chats there, and we'll be able to put them up on the screen if and when I find it, which is not going to happen anytime soon. So what's up to you, Top VoIP? Thanks for that note there, and I'm glad that you did it. And I don't know where you're planning on getting out, my friend, but yeah, nice move down there on Carvana. Sometimes you got to take those trades. All right, NVO, Novo Nordisk there today. Bye-bye futures. I did put a trailing stop, and thanks to Dragon something, Dr. Dragon. There it is, Dragon Slayer. Thank you so much right there. Yes, Dragon. I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about here. And I really, there you go, I found this one. And I just want to thank you for that, man. I mean, there it is. You're a damn good pro trader. I'm fine. Calling out positions into the future. I mean, this is why we have this fun little thing there, Back to the Future. And it's just about, getting that feeling for the trade. And there it is, something traders do. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much for the kind words there. But yeah, so I did put a trail there, 54.20, the 50-period moving average. We'll see see if we break that. And I do have a bid. Let me put in a little bit more here at 92. Just reward ourselves for holding this back in. Then I have a bid at 80. There's the fill there. And I have a bid at 80, and then we'll let that see if it wants to drip down after that. So we have sort of our hands up in the air now. We'll drink some water and we'll see what winds up happening now. But it's so far so good here as the good day kind of keeps on rolling there. Just wish we still had that first short, but whatever. We can't just keep on talking about that one. Bitcoin 87 now finally breaking. So
it already broke.
Oh yeah,
one.
did it? Okay.
Oh, way lower on Bitcoin. We got to like 86.6 on Bitcoin. Not looking very good. I mean, ETH as well. ETHA is not going to be doing too much better, but you've got Ethereum at 29. Oh, right, I haven't called this up yet. Shoot. Sorry about that. I can't show you that chart because I don't have any data because I hadn't looked at ETH this morning. But Ethereum's down at 29,000 even, but Bitcoin heading right back into the lows. The only new position, so all three shorts worked. I'm still in one of them. I'm just going to show you quickly Nvidia because this is distinctly different from pretty much every other chip name that I've been able to pull up today. So it's actually making some higher lows. If the market is able to bounce, I feel like this is the chip name that you're going to want. But the new position for me was in Novo Nordisk. Simply downtrend break. I've got my stop underneath 10s. So we'll see if this long can work out. I don't want to add to this unless it gets above VWAP because it's kind of a rule break because I'm not long off the lows. I'm long a trend break at VWAP. Usually you want to be long a trend break over VWAP. But it's 10 o'clock and my VWAP is not going to be entirely correct because it's already missing data. Novo on the daily looks fantastic. Regardless of how the day trade works, Novo looks really good. If it closes above 50 2 days in a row, I think this will be worth a shot on a swing trade. And I say that as an Eli Lilly shareholder who is not afraid of this pill. I just feel like Novo, this is the news that effectively you've been waiting for. Like if you weren't waiting for this news in Novo, then I have no idea what possible catalyst could also make it go. Like the pill is the one thing they have that's more effective than Eli Lilly's weight loss drug. So you got to figure that this is going to be the catalyst that should work for them.
Yeah, I don't hate you selling some Eli Lilly. I mean, it's at those highs, so I think that that's a good idea there. As I said, Eli Lilly spent 3 days higher than these levels in its history. So obviously, as Neil mentioned, they're not really affecting, by that Novo Nordisk. I think it's a good thing for Eli. I think it's a good thing for Eli Lilly. They'll come up with their product and
you know what?
They'll be able to figure that out.
So there's a note that should have made. I remember hearing this. It might have been 2 weeks ago. That it's been shown that you can actually jump from one to the other without losing effectiveness. So which is kind of like I guess it makes some sense. I'm not a doctor or scientist, but if you think about it, that would mean that you could go from using like the pill to Eli Lilly's injections as well.
Yeah,
so like that doesn't. That's why it's not all the worst news in the world here for Eli Lilly because there is that ability to potentially go back and forth. But again,
I just think it means
it
clears the way for more FDA. I mean, they'll be able to figure out how to get an oral pill going through theirs as well. But I'm not a doctor, just a doctor of charts. No, not really. I know nothing about setups or anything. AAPL, that is for sure. I'm just a trader, guys. Trader and a dad. All right, so right there, Apple and a husband. Apple, not doing a whole heck of a lot. Let's check out what Meta's up to right now. And we apologize for the charts. Meta won't even work for me because I never called it up for you guys yet. Okay, so here's Meta on a 5-minute chart on E-signal right there. So yeah, nice move up. I mean, that's what got us stopped out of our initial TQ short, and then the market kind of fell back in with it. So, really so far so good. And we're getting more and more out. Now I only have a third left of that TQQ trade as we did get another fill there in the 90s. And remember, although we do have that stop order in and I'm going to get stopped out on the TQs if it does go back through 54.20, I said that it could be a range bound kind of a day. So we shorted the top of the range and we're trying to get out of the bottom of the range. So I'm not going long down here, but, essentially by getting out, it's covering your short position and, not admitting, but, sort of throwing in the towel there on the short. So we'll get another bid there at 13s. I'll put another bid at like 07 or so, 08, if that hits fine. But we're now 5 cents away from getting, do I have that stop out? Yeah, 54.21s. So if that hits, we're gonna pop out of that one because we got to have a stop, right? We got to have a trail out. Because if I let this thing go all the way back to the top side, especially on a day where I'm expecting it to be choppy, it's a waste of my time and everybody else's as well. So I'm gonna bid out right there at 08, see if I can get another dip down in here. And then hey, look, man, if it winds up going down, it's good. We'll still have about a third on. And if it winds up going out on the upside, then we'll take our 30-cent profit and worry about the next trade. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. We didn't actually look back. We just missed that. I was at 08, it went to 10. What are you gonna do? Netflix as well. Wow, that 92.50, that's the price that we wrote down again. It went to 92.70 there on Netflix. So that would have been, again, a good buy. And let me guess, Tesla bounced again off 485? Yeah, so still in the range though for Tesla. So I don't really feel too bad about missing out on anything right there. The real trade would have been there. This one, easy to look back, but that first attempt down at that level, this would have been good as well, because if you already hit that once, you probably hit it again and it would have worked again, because you don't get stopped out at 485. So then it goes up to 487 again, 47.50. So the long working out on Tesla, I think it's about time we think about trying that. It looks like we will finally get stopped out, which is fine, man. It'd be a good, nice P&L name for us today with the TQQs. So we'll make back, obviously, what we lost on AMD, put ourselves into the green side of things right there, and look for our next trade. It's still 10.18 as we continue to pound back the waters over here.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Stay hydrated, stay focused, and we're just trying to stay focused on some of the names that you guys have thrown onto the visualizer. Reminder, if you are typing symbols into the chat, first off, hit that $sign first. Novo's in there, Tesla, we've talked about Amazon, we've shown you. TRIB, thankfully I have already called that stock up today, so that chart's gonna work just fine for me. But in order to be able to participate, you have to be a subscriber first. So hit that like, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, but most importantly, hit the subscribe so you can jump in, ask questions, participate in the community, throw your ideas out there, give us the symbols that are moving the most or that you think are the most interesting. TRIB, by the way, did lose the bid a bit here. So it is heading lower as we speak, underneath VWAP, TRIB. That was one of two small cap runners that was right around $1. It was HIHO, the highway company, and TRIB. That's trending down, so I don't know how much Sharif is going to be loving that one. I have break-even stop for the last of Intel, which might actually get there. But it's also at VWAP. So if we get another curl, I'm just going to reload it underneath the volume-weighted average price. But we're going right behind me to the small cap recap with Adara.
Let's start with the aforementioned HIHO, as it's being called here on the show, HIHO, Highway Holdings. They do have some news and a roughly $7 million market cap, so pretty small market cap here. They signed a letter of intent, or an LOI, to acquire 51% of Germany's Regent Weinbau Adermann. They're trying to get this deal closed by the end of March 2026, so pretty early into next year is the target for that. Let's take a look here at OPTX, Syntex Optics Holdings. No news on this one. I saw a roughly 6.2 million share float. Even smaller float for ASTI. This one incredibly volatile. Looks like it could be halted again. I'm not seeing any news for Ascent Solar Technologies, but it is worth noting here for ASTI, 3.5 million share float. So again, ASTI, OPTX, and HIHO on watch today, guys. Back to you.
Okay. All right, I'm
Tesla breaking out.
Oh, Tesla. Okay. Well,
I mean, not breaking out, but
no
breaking.
surprise.
It's breaking downward trend. You know what? I should be a little bit more clear. Tesla is breaking this little downward trend. So there's your double bottom. There's your kind of higher lows. When you're drawing a trend line, usually it's some of a line of best fit. Like you can do the wicks if you want. It would be effectively the same thing. You get the channel, but it's breaking the first part of it. It needs to break even higher. This is what I'm looking for Novo to do, actually. Similar thing, I didn't hit save. So if you do the wicks, which I'm not a huge fan of, it's more, there's your higher lows being put in. The second this is closing, which it's trying to do here above VWAP, then I'm gonna look to add and still kind of give it to that prior bar out. So looking for that trend up here on Novo Nordisk. Tesla, as soon as I said it, I just jinxed it. So yeah. I'm apparently bad luck because another topping tail candle in Tesla. It was, but that's the thing I always say about trend lines. Like, it has to close above. It's not, you can't just wick the trend line. You want it to close above, and I want the next candle to open and hold above that trend line as well. Otherwise, you didn't really do much of anything. Oh, there's another one. Julian in the chat saying Rivian, and then a little Ric Flair, woo.
Yeah, it's tanking.
Oh, well, I haven't looked at Rivian today. I was expecting maybe it was bouncing like Tesla, but Rivian down 3%. Here, I'll show you a daily chart because that's just going to work. Rivian down 3%, but still, remember, Rivian could pull all the way back to 19 and still be above that key breakout price on the daily chart. It gets a long ways away from bad on this little dip here in Rivian.
All right, TVIC or TIVC, hearing about that right now. Tivic Health, right there. So we didn't. I put my stop order at 25s for that futures trade. Oh yeah, that's right. It's not going to work. So TIVC. I apologize for this today, guys. I mean, unfortunately, our charts are still experiencing some data issues. So. Getting old data to come through, and if you haven't called it up yet, but there goes TVIC, starting to bounce right now. I'm not sure what the news is there, but it's starting to get going to the upside. TVIC right now from $2 up to $2.40. We'll see where that goes, but that's TVIC, another play that's going. We did have.
I don't see any news on this, by the way.
No. We did have some news on something else there earlier that, HIHO. Let me just see what that's doing here. That got up to 240 or so, I think it was. Yeah, so 220. This is what HIHO doing right now, coming back in. Looking, again, that 140, it was 80 cents yesterday, all the way up to 2 and change, now back up to 173, and looking like it wants to pull back just a little bit. All right, so here we go. We just got a 15 fill there, so that was whatever. Hoping that this continues to fall back in. And the reason why I upped it is just that we're at these levels right here, right now. So I just put it to 25, which is just a break of everything. The 200s here, the 50s here, VWAP, they're all here right now. And I know that based on my chart, these levels probably are not exact or anything like that, not even close, but you know, this is what it looks like on my other chart. So we're getting close right into here. We're still around all these levels anyways on E-signal. So we'll just see if we want to pull. I mean, maybe I could even up this into 50, maybe I'll go to 54.30 because we just got a little bit of an out there. I'm just upping the stop area again, 54.31. This will still give us the trade. Like I went a little bit more short there at 20s, so we will lose on this last little reload, but I'm just trying to get.
It's Nvidia blasting.
Okay, 185 blasting right now, and so is AMD, man. AMD's all the way back to 214.50. So yeah, the shorts maybe. I'm gonna hold off, man. We just showed you where my stop is. 7 cents away on TQs. Happy to do that. It'll still be green. It'll keep me green on the day, but we will give a little bit back if that goes. There's AMD. Yeah, nice move up. And you said Nvidia?
Yeah, Nvidia breaking out morning highs and yesterday's highs. No questions asked. 1% up is going to be leading the market on Nvidia. Here, just going to quickly show you the 15. So no inside day for Nvidia. This is going to be key if it can close this 15-minute bar above 185 bucks. And one of the reasons, I'm going to just quickly for myself, because what does AMD look like? AMD's pressing back into the high, but you know what? I don't know how much I'm going to like this one. Again, at 215 is the level. It is coming back in, but I look at what's happening in like this other chip name. Like, does Intel not look weaker? Like AMD was a good short up top early, but Intel now, this is holding VWAP. That's what I want to see at 1015 or like at 1025, which it is right now. Are you showing me that trend down? So I've reloaded that one at VWAP instead of AMD. And IBIT, Bitcoin, believe it or not, it doesn't stink. Like it's back above 87. It went to VWAP without even showing a curl. It goes right back up to the highs. I was kind of thinking it would do full V shape. But this one might be a wait for it to get to the absolute top at 49.6, and that's like 87.5 or so if you're following along on spot Bitcoin or Bitcoin specifically. But yeah, like 87.5 or 49.6, or wait for it to reestablish under VWAP. So there is a lot of strength coming in to the market, led by Nvidia. I'm checking Micron because that's been a strong one. Right. You know what? I have to remind myself that if I haven't looked at a stock today. Thankfully, like I look at a lot of stocks in the pre-market, but unfortunately, I haven't looked at a lot. So something like Micron's not going to pull up for you to be able to see a full chart, but you can see that it is. I mean, it's near the high. Breaks out at about $3 or $4 or so.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Right there. Yeah. So I'm just going to call up Carvana on here. Yeah, look, thank you so much. You went short Carvana around open that day. Perfect, man. 472.50. That was literally, I mean, the call I made when I wasn't even here. And there it was. Man, we made it on Thursday. So back into there, Carvana was, if you come over here, 467, 468. Then it tipped up higher. And then there's the drop down. And here's where it is right now, 425. So you've now put $50 in your pocket there on a $475 name. So I think that's a good little 12 or so % there for you in Carvana. So I think that would be, again, a pretty decent spot. And remember, it's not that I'm hating on the stock. It's just like we had that huge run up on CVNA on your daily chart. And, you know, most of that, obviously, part of that, anyways, has to deal with its, you know, S&P inclusion. So it was just whenever I saw that, that's why I made that call. I wasn't here to do anything about it. I did see that it tanked into the close that day. So there it goes, man. Now Carvana, good work there, and it's on you, the baronet there. So that was just a really good call, and thank you for putting it on so we could talk about it. But congratulations to you at the end of the day when we talk like that. All right, SMR did have bottoms near $16, still there. Again, my chart's not going to do anything for this, but SMR did have a nice little area right here that we tried to support from yesterday, that's 1630. I'm not sure how low we got today or anything like that, but 1575, 1580, these look like some good lows. The other long that I was looking for today was Netflix. And that was 92.50. Okay, that's not coming back in. And then the Tesla 485 area held, and it's still here. So this is why, like, not to, like, you know, sort of beat a dead horse here or anything like that, but this is, I think it's worth a try. I'm going to hold out because I think this market could come in. We just got another fill there finally at 13, so we finally get a 13 fill right there on the Nasdaq. So that's it. Now we can, our trail is now in. So let's just let this go back, man. I'm going to see if we get a 54 fill, and then we'll see about a 53.91 here. But you know, we're doing our best here to hold this short, explain to you why we like it, and so far it's working out. So good little short here happening for us on the Nasdaq as we go back to the future. And yeah, it looks like we should have shorted that AMD as well, as that was a decent pop up to the upside. It's going to be hard for us to go back and forth with these stocks, man. It's
yeah, like I was just saying in the chat, someone said, it looks like you were looking at the wrong chart of MU. No, it was the right chart. I just didn't have any proper data on it because I hadn't called it up. So anything that we've looked at all morning and have already pulled up is fine. Like my Novo, which I've been watching because it was in play all morning, this chart is absolutely fine. And if this breaks trend, by the way, the only long could end up 1 for 4 with the only long being the loser if we lose this bid. But it did close above VWAP, so it's trending higher. That one's fine. It's when I go to look at, like it was Micron will be the example. It would be hilarious if the Micron chart suddenly worked. It doesn't. So there's Micron. Like I just called it up a couple of minutes ago, and then that's where I'm starting to get some data, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Like I could easily just, like I can show you Micron. I can just go over here and pull up eSignal or something. If I really needed to see the chart for Micron, then I would just throw it up on eSignal, throw a 15, 3-minute, like whatever, 5-second chart, whatever I need with eSignal is fine. And I'm not saying every trader should have like a backup. You don't necessarily need it. But it can't hurt. And for us, it's actually worked out pretty well. And execution's been perfectly fine for us.
Oh yeah.
That's actually one of the first things. If you're with real trading, execution pretty much is always up. But second, there's like, oh, my charts aren't working for a bit. Like orders are still executing. You always make sure of that because that's the most important thing. If execution wasn't working, well then wouldn't be, or it was spotty, you wouldn't put new trades on. But so far, so good there. So lower highs still being put on in Intel. It's holding the volume weighted average price. So I'm going to continue to reload that. This time, if it gets down to 36, I will take the bottom. I thought the market was kaputs. I thought we'd break down underneath. Hasn't really happened. So I'm going to play this within the range. As long as it holds these lower highs, I think we're good to go. Novo is doing okay. What hasn't been good at all for the long is silver. I've been waiting for this to calm down and reminding myself that yesterday, silver broke this downtrend at 2:36 in the afternoon. So that might require a little bit of patience here. It's a much more, distinct and sharp downtrend, that's the word I'm looking for, sharp downtrend. So it could easily break it earlier. I think that's perfectly reasonable. It just hasn't done so yet. It's very close to. But I'm going to be patient. If it breaks trend, I want to go long. But understanding how long it took for this to happen yesterday, it's not The thing about silver in this move is you're actually getting more trading silver by holding it and getting the overnight gaps, unless you're getting the low or catching that bottom or the reversion every single day, because some of the gaps up where you're getting a lot of the juice. Like overnight, it's going to move. Some of these overnight gaps are going to be a little bit bigger than what you're capturing intraday. That was the case yesterday for sure.
You guys, 10:32, you're going to get ready to go over to the midday show very, very soon. I want to see how many people are actually subbed and watching us right now. We have obviously a little bit of a lighter day here, 7,400 of you watching. Please make sure you go in there, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I haven't refreshed this, probably need to do that. We have a nice little Jerome Powell. Oh no, that's Jensen right there. Gold, what? Jensen's all about gold.
Jensen?
Right there. Oh, good.
Jensen.
1,000 right there. Thank you so much for the likes. I like that. 500. Oh, there we go. We got a couple more likes. We're at 547. Let's see if we can get to 500,000 likes. That would be 550,000. We already have 500,000. 550,000 likes, man, subscribers. If you can hit that subscribe button, let's get us 2,000 more right now. If you're not subscribed and you're watching, let's hit that button and get going on that right now. So we'll take that subscriber off there and say thank you so much for all of the continued support. AMD does go up, does come back down in. Palantir's had a little bit of a mover there today again as well. We didn't start looking at this thing until 10 o'clock, but it does make that move into 191, now back up to 192.8. We do apologize that our charts are a little bit wonky here today with getting past data on symbols that we have not looked at. Could have shorted this again at 214.50. Didn't really hit though, so didn't really give it to me. I was waiting up here at 215.50. I still am though, in case we do get that run up. That would take me out of my Nasdaq short if that winds up happening. I do think there is a run. Someone did ask me if there was going to be a run coming for nuclear. Like, I just think that it's, you know, Kramer said about month and 2 months ago that the year of magical investing has ended, and that is true, man. Like buying all these names that make no money or anything like that, it's really gotten hit, right? SMR, this is only a 30-minute chart, but it feels like it's been like it's coming from $60 all the way down to 15. So there is, again, like a little bit of opportunity right there to possibly pick something up on the low end right now of SMR. They all kind of look the same, Oklo, SMR, nano nuclear, everything. So there was the top. Here's the move back in. And this is, you know, at some point they're going to start getting talked about again, as the data center worries right now is in the financing side of things. So if that can sort of shore up, then potentially, you know, when financing is more secured and there's more talk about that, then possibly, you know, that's when we get that run in Oklo. Or I just think it's, do your own research. Like there's CCJ, I think is a great name to be bought as well. But Oklo, there it is, 190 down to 82. So that's chopped in more than half. And then Cameco, CCJ, is a good name that's been here for a minute. So there's nothing wrong with this name, although it does have the drop off, but a good nuclear name to get involved with uranium right there, CCJ. So yeah, I do think there is a potential for another run in this space, and let's just see how far it goes though. If it does bounce back. I don't know if we get back all the way to the highs. I do think that some of the fluff has been taken out of that trade for sure. Nasdaq right back to VWAP. So this is like where we're getting ready to get stopped out. So if this does break, we basically 2 pennies away from breaking. So no, call that up. Yeah,
I had already pressed the button. That's
do it.
Hector Castillo here. Your son, your 2-year-old son. First of all, congratulations. Oh, Christmas time is the best when the kids are really small. Has a port with VGT. You want to add 1 to 3 stocks that could be big plays for the next 10 to 15 years. Any ideas? Well, first things, you know, when you're looking for accounts like for the kids, whether it's education accounts or whatever it might be, I'm assuming you start out, you know, obviously ridiculously conservative. I think that's the way to go, and then add a couple of symbols in there. I think Alphabet's got a fantastic moat. The description that I heard Joe and Sharif using, which I don't think we've said very often, but it's kind of apt. It's like a little mini ETF, because you get weird things like quantum, not weird, but you get abstract things like quantum with Alphabet. You get automated driving. You get cloud infrastructure with Alphabet. Then you get YouTube. YouTube is bigger than TikTok in the US. YouTube gets more views than, I believe it still gets more views than Netflix. I know it had passed Netflix at some point. So I like that name for sure. Outside of tech, I mean, I can tell you the names I like outside of tech the most. Like they're like Caterpillar and Walmart and Eli Lilly. Of the three, I'd probably be more inclined to Caterpillar at these particular prices, but that's just for myself. I think those can be some big plays. If you're talking 10 to 15 years, I mean, then I think it's pretty safe to bet on AI 10 to 15 years out, even at these prices. Sean?
All right, guys, you've seen us use these charts here a couple times today. Make sure you do check out eSignal. Obviously very reliable as we're going to them today. And, we got to get that thing off the screen. Clear that trigger there. Yeah, see you later. I got rid of it. Over 50 plus brokers now connected to eSignal. So it's a very, very simple to use platform, as well as offering you all the screeners that you need. The tools are amazing. Option flow, anything you need is available in eSignal. It is a completely entitle-based system. So you can go in there and get entitlements to whichever market they support. You want to trade the futures, just pay for that. You want to trade Nasdaq, you could just pay for that. And if you're looking at some of the other more unique markets as well, eSignal is your place. Whether or not it's over there in the Nifty 50, Hang Seng, anywhere, check out eSignal, scan that QR code and grab your first month for free. We want to thank them for that.
Yeah, pretty apt today to talk.
Yeah, I mean, I've only shown it about 100 times today. All right, so there goes the Nasdaq. We'll hit the hot dog gun. I mean, we did good, man. That was a good trade. I told you guys, brought us back to Greensville, which is really nice. So, was red 0 for 2 there early as we got stopped out, and then didn't get stopped out of it all, but got stopped out of most of it. Bought it, sold it back, and then the move happened into there as we were part of a big run up in Alphabet and all that. And there it goes. Now we'll clear out of that one. Realistically, I was talking about getting it out at 54.20. I don't know if my net changed at all because we did add some short there and then got some out back near the downside. So if I would have stopped out at first, 54.20, we probably would have been almost the same. So we just danced with it a little bit more, which is fine. I like putting on risk at levels that I like. There's no other way of doing things for my style. So we just got to wait for things to get into levels. And for right now, I am bidding again on Tesla. So now that I'm out of that short, we had written it down again. And just for those of you watching, I know it's a little bit, it goes back and forth here, but it is the most clicked on media thing here. We do have AMD, the TQs, Tesla, Netflix. So Tesla 45 to 47, we write this note at 8 a.m. But that was a level that we were looking long. So, the first thing that hit on this note was our short on the futures, which hit at 54.50, which we just got. And then it was the Tesla long down into this area. So I'm going to sit there and see if we do get a little bit of a flow back into 486. I'll try it there. Then we'll try 485 and then give it about $1. So like 483.50, 484 break is where we'll get out if this one goes against us. Yes, ask nicely and you shall always receive, Ramin. It is now sector watch time with Adara.
Let's talk about the sectors that are leading the market. Health tech actually doing pretty well here. Gilead, AbbVie to the upside. Novo Nordisk not in the S&P 500, but they're certainly on watch here, getting FDA approval for their oral weight loss drug, their oral GLP-1. Consumer non-durables, despite some weakness in names like Pepsi, generally doing pretty well. Utilities very strong. Energy minerals also very strong. Health services doing well. Communications doing well. Industrial services doing well. Finance had a really good day yesterday, and they're still maintaining some of that strength. Citigroup, which actually reached multi-year highs yesterday, looking to continue that up more than 1%. Let's move on to tech. Electronic tech a little bit stronger here than tech services, but there's lots of weakness here in the tech services space. As Sean and Neil were mentioning earlier today, Google very strong this morning. They announced yesterday, around 24 hours ago, around 11 a.m. on Monday, they're acquiring Intersect. I want to talk here about some of the weaker names in the sector, though. Oracle, ServiceNow, AppLovin, and CrowdStrike all down to the tune of 2%. Now, we do have news here on ServiceNow. NOW down after announcing the acquisition of Armis, which is a cybersecurity startup, for $7.75 billion. Rest of these, no specific catalyst, but ORCL, pretty good day yesterday. Could just be pulling back a bit after that run. Back to you.
I'd forgotten that ServiceNow split. So ServiceNow now, well, obviously now down at the lows because $8 billion is, well, just underneath $8 billion is a hefty acquisition for them. And they're taking it not on the chin, but looking a little bit relatively weak compared to the overall market. Just jumping back over, as we get back into the highs, you're going to see Nvidia just presses through again. So Nvidia continues to go. Let's double check. AMD's pushing through, so that looks continuously strong. For myself, Intel still looks weak, but if we're going to continue to break out, I don't want us pressing higher highs. Here's what I'm looking at. Like, if the Nasdaq is pressing higher highs, I don't know if it's an automatic reload at VWAP. If we hold the high, sure. If the Nasdaq's able to hold, as the Nasdaq and ES are able to hold the highs, that was just the ES. Nasdaq's kind of the same thing. If it holds the high, then reload the short. If it doesn't, then I can just stop it out above the volume weighted average price. Novo is still like gliding. The initial move obviously was much bigger on the dip at 930, but it's holding this trend. I'm going to get rid of the one for the wick, so I was doing that to show you guys and make a point. But it's now holding a trend line. The trend line's above the volume weighted average price, so if we lose 52.25, I'm out. But every time it bounces just in and around VWAP, I'm going to look for a reload. And then if we lose 52.25, I'll be out of that name for sure. It's just not. Look, it's 10:43. It's a holiday shortened week. There's a decent possibility with a stock like Novo that this initial move from 935 to about 948, like that was your chance to get the big time run on Novo. And same thing with the overall market. Like I don't necessarily, or anything you're looking at, like I don't expect Intel to do another 3% move for me here. It gave you the low end of the range here after we use the AMD trade first. And I feel similarly about any other big cap tech name. IBIT could be different, because I do still feel like IBIT still trending up, complete V-shaped recovery above VWAP. I feel like if it does give me another short, that it absolutely could get to the lows, because Bitcoin just doesn't care when it goes to the downside. It was range bound like everything else, and then look what happened at 2 o'clock yesterday. And nothing was really dropping all that crazy when Bitcoin decided to lose the bid. So I think it's a different story. For IBIT or some of the small cap names, you might see some more movement, but at this time of day, you don't want to be over trading for sure, right? And that's going to be the case tomorrow. It's usually the case where you get that early, big, massive volatility spike in any name, and you want to make sure you're taking advantage of it. Realize that we haven't gone over any halt names, probably because I don't know if I'll be able to pull these ones up. That AFJK. What I can do, however, is any of the stocks that are halting, even though my chart might not be good. Oh, this one's fine. Why is this chart fine? AFJK, this chart is absolutely fine. That's not the one that just halted, but it has halted a couple of times here, up 130%. There are some runners, but this has no volume. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole at all. And the one from yesterday, oh my goodness, that space company from yesterday, they absolutely rugged you. Sidhu.
Sidhu. And FJet went down.
Well, FJet did as well, but it was Sidhu that I meant. We didn't really talk too much about this, other than to say that they did do an offering, which we shouldn't be too surprised when a small cap company that doesn't make money has appreciation to go from $1 to $2.50. Well, they should raise money. It makes a lot of sense. Like why? Like you wouldn't be doing your diligence if you didn't raise money in that particular situation. So yeah, Sidhu did an offering down 34%. This was a great runner yesterday, but they last for a bit, not for a long time. Really only good for maybe 1 or 2 days, and then you get the back end of the trade. Don't get caught holding the bag on these.
Yeah, for sure. People there. Yeah, we always talk about that. I mean, they can follow an offering at any time, and then it completely destroys the stock. Wait a minute, I thought I had some, I guess I did not put some bids on Tesla. 486 is where I want this name. So if it comes back into 486, we'll try a little bit down here. I'm at 46 flat, and then I do want to put another bid at 485, basically flat as well. See if that one fills up down there, and then if it does, good for me. And we'll wait on Tesla. I see some talk in the chat that Tesla's pretty weak, and it is, man. I mean, it's not following what the market's doing. Tesla's down 0.38 today. But I'm just going to try this area. Like I said, this could be a possible range-bound day, and I think we nailed that, man. Like, we shorted the top of that range and got most of it out at the bottom. So that's a good one. We'll wait to see what winds up happening there. Besides the fact of shorting maybe an AMD or something like that, we could get into it. But oh no, it's not going to work. AFJK. Thank you to everybody in the chat there. Amy Healthcare. I don't know. This is an interesting name because Well, actually, I think the data is actually pretty fine on this one. Halted a couple, I don't know why this one's fine. Did I call it up earlier? Maybe I did. Halted a couple times. Derek, can you find out about AFJK today up 123%? And I think this is a recent IPO or something because it wasn't really doing anything. Then it got lit up right there, 24.25. Healthcare name, AMI Health Technology. So nice move there. And on the daily, we're just looking at it. I think it might have been a SPAC. No news. Okay,
All I'm saying is no news. Looks like they had an IPO that closed on December 6th, 2023. So this is also not recent.
AFJK.
Oh, yeah, look at the price.
Yeah, it does look like a SPAC to me, but as we go, we can find out more about that. The float is 2.4 million right there. The short float doesn't really matter. And as Adara goes and talks about it, circuit breaker halted. Combination deadline. Oh, okay. So
it is a SPAC.
Yeah, December 8th. So it looks like there probably was a SPAC there. So they went in there at $10. This is it basically at $10, kind of like the whole time. Get some deal announcements, I guess, there in November. I'm not sure what was spiking up there or not at all. And then down to 7 and then boom right now. So yeah, a good little look there on AFJK. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. And that's the value of getting into the subscribers, right? We can be part of the chat and we can try to do this together. So I think Adara might have more news on this. What's up, Adara?
Tough one to find anything on. The most, I guess, relevant detail here with regards to the SPAC issue is apparently on June 20th of 2024, so that's well over a year ago now, United Hydrogen Group announced that they're going to be combining businesses here with AFJK. So it's been over a year and a half since we've heard anything here with regards to this business combination. Google didn't give me any updates. This doesn't necessarily say when this combination is going to close, but again, announced in June 24. Back to you.
At all, if there's literally nothing happening, that's way too big of a move.
I don't know about that one.
No questions asked. And oh my goodness, Drop System just put in SNDK with a wow. High of day for Sandit. Look at the market strong as well. So SNDK again breaking out. It rejected 250 before. This is one where, as far as Micron goes, as far as this is going to go. And I feel as if Micron could go even more. Like Micron breaking out fresh highs. I see in the memory space, I just feel like SNDK is the one. I want to wait for Micron to lose the high. But the idea would be if Micron wicked the high, then SNDK would be a short. It hasn't happened yet, and it's just so far away from its top that I figure any loss of that high on Micron, you're going to be able to either short off the 250 level or off the 280. But that's something to wait for. Like, I'm not advocating jumping in front of a moving freight train. Use Micron as your futures for that particular stock. Speaking of which, the market, all right, so the market is trying to put in a lower high. I'm going to go for the reload because we are turning around here a little bit on in the overall market. So I'm going to try to reload Intel. Bitcoin, I'm not necessarily there yet for Bitcoin. And Novo is really slowing down. So it's just hanging on to this trend line, but it's not really, the volume so much lower. I don't think it's worth a reload. I think it's, like I said, if I lose a quarter, I'm just going to jump out of this. Maybe look for a small capper that's going to move around a bit because, yeah, volume really starting to die down here. You're not going to get any massive runners, I don't think. About 10 minutes to go, then we throw you to the midday. We're going to have, Sean already mentioned, we have Obi in for Joey options, but he'll be there with the professor for sure. And any names that we have not gotten to, just let us know. Like, usually I've flipped to a few more things to look at because of the chart issue. I've only been doing it when you guys are asking about things or when I'm curious. But yeah, just let us know. I can pull up that HIHO to see if that's doing anything as well. But the two small cappers, it was HIHO has been strong, and it was the other one that was weak. Actually, HIHO's back at the high of the day, believe it or not, 150%, still going. Highway, what did we say it was? Highway something. They got a German acquisition deal, that's all.
Yeah, let's go check out who made money yesterday. I know the market is a little slow, but let's go find out who made money here at Real Trading. We are, of course, on a prop floor. So yesterday's totals, these are going to be the market. These are all US dollars, and these are the markets that the traders traded. So Amex, Chicago, so the futures, Nasdaq in New York. Someone yesterday, the second biggest trader yesterday was on Blue Ocean, so $7,500 over there on Blue Ocean. So if you're looking to trade some Blue Ocean, get involved with us here at Real Trading. You can do that. Then the Canadian markets, the Canadian TSX there goes 6,500, and then Amex TSX as well, 6,000. 55555, a bunch of fives there, some fours and some threes. And then here we go. We haven't seen this in a minute. Awesome. Hong Kong last night, $3,000. So the numbers aren't huge or anything like that, but there is at least something to do with that. It's too bad that Tesla didn't. We almost got long Tesla. It's starting to go back upside right now. Finally starting to wake up a little bit. 87.50. Oh, it just went to 488 almost there. Bounced off VWAP and coming back in. So I'm going to still wait out for this 486 area or so on Tesla. It's Money Talks with Dara, then we'll figure out what's for lunch.
Indeed, it is Money Talks time, and I want to start here by pointing out this support on the US dollar. Now, we know this level here of approximately 97.9 served as support going back to last Tuesday. Now today, once again, about a week later, serving as support once again. So a bit of a double bottom here on the daily chart for the DXY. As I've mentioned, we've really reversed that mini uptrend that we had starting in September, specifically September 17th of 2025. We had these higher highs, higher lows. We make this double top. Now trying to head back down here with lower highs and lower lows. I think the biggest thing to mention here with regards to the market with this economic data, it's going to be that we had the GDP print coming out this morning, Q3 2025, 4.3%. Well above estimates of 3.3% and the prior print of 3.8%. Durable goods month over month for the month of October. Again, this is a bit delayed data. This is negative 2.2%, so lower than the estimate there of negative 1.5%. Core durable goods month over month for October, not a negative print, but lower than we were expecting. And you can find this infographic with all this info on X at TTP Research. We did get some other economic data today at 10 a.m. The CB Consumer Confidence print coming in a bit lower than expected. I want to talk here about the CME Fed Watch tool because these odds of that rate cut coming through in January continue to dwindle. 13.3% of participants right now expecting a 25 basis point cut. Almost 87% expecting that rates will be held. Now, it's interesting as well. We actually had Fed's Hammock coming out over the weekend saying that she doesn't really see any need to rush these rate cuts, likely not needing anything until maybe the spring. A lot of these Feds not wanting to front load these cuts here. And that was also a comment made by Fed's Goolsbee, who was one of the individuals who actually voted for rates to be held at this most recent meeting about a week or so ago, 2 weeks now. Before we send you back to Sean and Neil, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Trade the Pool, because for too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines, but that is now changing because Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With this limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital, while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside, and this allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. And when you hit that profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. That's the revolution of limited risk trading, powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. Back to you.
Thanks, Dara. For checking that out.
Thank you very much, Dara.
We do have that. We have that key and we have this key. Okay, so here we go, man. Someone in the chat was like, "Hey, I think lunch is going to start with a T and end with an A." So I'm assuming that's going to be a troll of tilapia. But today, my friend, is an American flag.
We know what that means.
On there. Last week we missed out on it. Today, it is back. It is fried chicken. So right there, we get a boo from Sharif, but it is buttermilk fried chicken with potato wedges and mixed green.
Sharif is gonna boo it. First of all, you must not have eaten it last time. Jeff Mendel from OTC Markets came by and took us to lunch. But I still, we had a great lunch, but I still had my plate. I was doing my best to not waste any of it.
Sharif did eat it.
It was delicious.
Apparently, so.
Biscuits.
Different opinions over here.
Okay, well, I mean, to each their own. It was, as far as I'm concerned, it was delicious. The biscuit was actually delicious as well. I don't even remember.
I heard some good things.
I don't remember what the salad was that I had with it, to be honest with you, because all I ate was the chicken and the biscuit. But
yeah, it sounds like salads are overrated when you got that buttermilk chicken over here.
Well, yeah, you got it.
I like that. I mean, that's a perfect, for me, coleslaw would be nice.
Coleslaw.
Oh, I hope that's what it is again. I was going to say, when I heard Fabian say that, I'd be like, yeah, I'm down with some slaw. Up in there as well. All right, that's what's for lunch. I do have finally a new position starting, and I don't know, we'll take some shares on it, and we'll see what winds up happening. AMD, it just came right back into this level again. I wrote down 214 to 215 the first time. We did take it right at this level, man, and we got stopped out on the upside of that trade before it blew through. So I'm actually going to stop at the exact same spot again. 215. If we break it through, then fine, we break it through, we get stopped out there. So we'll just ho-hum that. Hopefully that doesn't happen, and we do get a downside push. I just want to show you guys that, like, right now on AMD, we only have 3 minutes left. Like, the spread right here is 11 cents, to get your 100 shares. So it's like, I'm trading more than that in shares, right? And obviously not everybody will, and maybe you guys won't either. Maybe you'll trade more. But it's like, you got to be careful, because like it can whip through. Like, if someone comes in with like a big 1,000 share order, or I don't know, 50,000 shares or any kind of size, like this thing will basically could clear out like many levels. Like, you're not even getting, these are all 1 share, 300 shares. Like, I'm trading in the hundreds as a default. So it's just like, even me just playing this is like, I'm the odd man out. There's not even hundreds of shares going on through here. So just be careful, man. It's light trading today, so just watch out for your positions and understand that there is a little bit of a spread obviously associated with the stock. So it's just unlike any other day. I was talking about that earlier on AMD when we got in at the beginning of the day. I was like, holy shoot, like this spread is like 30, 40 cents, which is why we're able to catch some of these. And that's why you have the crazy tails today, because like it prints the spread and then just fills it right back in and goes the other way. So we'll be careful here. We'll get out on a 215 break. So I don't know where exactly that will go. We're trying to imagine slippage of that 10 cents or so. So I just throw out a market order and we get what we get, and we sometimes get upset, but that's what we're doing right now. So I'm doing that here.
The good thing about some of the orders that we have though is even with that spread on a market order through a key price area, oftentimes you can get inside, because a lot of our routing keys, which are essentially any order that you send out which can hit multiple gateways. It's called a routing key, so it routes to every gateway. A lot of them can also sweep the dark pools to the extent that they're available, and there tends to be liquidity there. So if you're at real trading, slippage isn't that bad just because there's a 10-cent spread, but you do want to have access to the best possible routing keys out there. So shout out to real trading for that. But I do have one small loss. It'll be Novo. It was the only long today that I liked. It broke the trend line, so with the second it established an uptrend, I got in. Only got one take profit on the way up, but then it lost the trend line. Volume is really starting to slow down. I mean, it was already slowing down, but volume really starting to slow down. It's a triple bottom, so it might give you some kind of a consolidation off 52. I'll look to see if it ends up just holding this, then maybe play it for just a consolidative low where you're scalping off of that low and then short. Intel, I did reload it. The Nasdaq did not make a fresh high. The ES did not make that break. Well, the ES broke the high, but the Nasdaq did not. So I reloaded at VWAP. So yeah, going to look for some small cappers as well that might move. If nothing is moving, you don't have to force trades or fight them. Just continuously tracking Tesla. It's got a nice little wedge sort of pattern, which is forming. But yeah, I think you're almost over trading it if you work to that one. Yeah, it just got filled on Intel. Going to look for the low of the day here. Looking for 36.3 into 36 even. So if you just range bound like that 1% move, then we'll take what we can get. Been a good day today. Again, but don't necessarily expect the crazy wicks you saw in the morning. Very unlikely you see that kind of a move in the afternoon, right? Like it should be, if it's anything like yesterday, there'll be lots of range-bound stocks, so don't be afraid if you're going to trade, play inside of that range. We're going to enjoy that fried chicken regardless of, it's maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but the biscuits and hopefully coleslaw should be hitting the spot throughout lunch for us.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, it's 11:01. We got some out on AMD there in the 30s. It started to move back up, very, very range bound, as we said already. So, all right, we'll see you guys back at 2 p.m. For now, it's a midday show. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. It was a great show. We'll see you back in a couple hours. Ciao.
I'm in trouble here, Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday show. That is not Joey Options. That is Obi. He is the one, Kenobi. Shout out to my man. I just got to load up to say hi to everybody, because we got a
How's everyone doing?
Hold on, just trying to load this up. There we go. Now we're good to go. Always Christmas. It's always Christmas.
I haven't sat at this desk in a while. How you know that? It's because this contract is still on the Z25 or Z25.
Let's say hello to everybody, Ob. Trader Sniper is in the house. Shout out to Peter Pie. We got Vamos. We got Dexter Smith. We got Dark Skern. We got Marco Hernandez, Outlawed Trader. Shout out to Papacito and Yummy Thai Food, Front Porch Trader, Noisy, Big 40, Nephew, Tismail. We got Veggie Food Lovers and Daniel Simon. Shout out to Machiavelli, the OG, Rogelio, Concepcion, Kurt D, Bora.